Hello, friends. How are you all doing? Today we have an epic day of StarCraft 2. That's all I'm gonna say about it. An absolutely epic day of StarCraft, actually. 100%. Okay. Just gotta make sure that everything on my end is set up. But I think we're gonna be fine when it comes to that. Missed you yesterday? Yeah. Internet man cut my cord. The internet man wasn't here. Hey, what's up, Riven? Drip King K. We made it indeed. Yeah, it was frustrating. It was a bad day to get the internet cut. It's good games. It's good games. That's what I saw at least. It was good games. No, this is not correct. Let me set everything up real fast. It's gonna be important. I've been thinking of using dark mode on YouTube lately. It feels wrong though, the dark theme on YouTube, no? Am I crazy? I don't know about it yet. 4 Zergs, 1 Terran, and 1 Protoss. Yeah, it's the way of the world, buddy. That's how we roll. That's how we roll over here. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure everything is properly set up. Oh, I'm hearing Chinese voices in my ear. That can only mean one thing and one thing only. That means that we're about to go live. Just gonna mute it in my ears. Oh, holy crap, it's loud. All right. I'll just pop it open. Look at that. You guys can see what I was hearing earlier. Some beautiful commercials. Looks a little bit like Yu-Gi-Oh, no? Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the only animes that I've seen at least a little bit of. The drawings remind me of Yu-Gi-Oh. Or maybe that guy's face just reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh's face. What the hell is he doing? I haven't seen this particular commercial before. I was like, a Ghastly? It's a Pokemon. That legit was just a Ghastly, no? Ghastly? Ghostly? What's the guy called? He turns into a Gengar eventually. A Haunter. Oh, this is just Pokemon on steroids or something. What the hell is this crap? But he's also fighting the Pokemons. Absolutely messed up if you ask me. Is this Persona? I have no clue what this is, buddy. All I'm seeing is this. I think this is the longest advertisement. There was a chessboard there for a second too. He's doing calculations in his head. But he also has a book. God knows what this is. This didn't look very enticing. If I was an anime fan, I wouldn't watch this. Did this guy just have a gun in his hand? What the hell? This is a gun, no? That he has in his hand. What is that? That he points at the camera. Does he just point the gun at the camera? It's appealing to the... What is, that's not a gun. What is that? Is it a monitor stand? What the hell is this guy selling me? Oh. Now I have Oliveira, which is recorded with a phone format. Like, oh, my back hurts. And it is a weird format to record an advertisement in. Because it was made on the phone. This is very aggressive marketing. Harstem, do you think Maxpack's inability to diverge from his standard build order hurt him in these tournaments? Yeah. Always. The moment you're incapable of playing multiple things, that's always going to hurt you. Just period. That's just how it works. You need to be capable of playing multiple things, ideally. And it is possible that you can win by playing the same thing over and over if you're very good. Or if in a particular meta, that thing is just by far the best. But I don't think Protoss is in a meta where playing one thing again and again is going to be the best. SC boy. I have no clue what we're looking at here. These are like forums or something. Scan the QR code. You're allowed to go into the forum. I have no clue what the advertisement is, but I love it. Do you think there's ever a chance we will ever see a pro random player? You can define pro pretty differently together. There used to be a player called Balloon, who was considered a pro, I guess, and he was random. He wasn't very good, but he was good enough. Low Grandmaster on Korea. I lost to him at an MLG once. That's what I remember. Are you planning on making more guides? Yes, sir. Sure. Oh, MARU is not here yet. SERRAL's camera also isn't properly centered. Good lord. We can't even see SERRAL's chin, which is arguably the best part of SERRAL. Maybe he's slouching in his chair? I think he just moved the camera up. Beastie Cutie? Nah, Beastie Cutie never was random when he played. Was he? He played Terran at tournaments always. REYNOR is the closest to pro random. But he doesn't random though. He race picks. That's very different from playing random. I wonder if Clem might be better at random. I'm not sure if they've played a random versus random before. Although in random versus random matches, I guess the most important thing is getting your main race multiple times. But then again, I could be wrong on that as well. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, friends. Let's get the sound rolling over here. Did his camera just freeze as it zoomed over to him? I think it did. That was a long stare into the camera there by SERRAL. Now we have no cameras anymore. They just removed them. I think his camera froze. Look. Okay, there we go. Somewhat resuming. It's a little bit laggy. SERRAL is not really sitting that still. I don't think so. Yeah, he's at Finnish connection. That's what you get for living next to a golf course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, serious time though. Today we have the match of matches. The Korean GOAT versus the foreigner GOAT. And perhaps the all-time GOAT. Mr. SERRAL versus MARU. They played each other already in this tournament. With SERRAL getting destroyed 2-0. When we talked with him about this the other day, he said that if anything, he felt like he performed relatively well after getting destroyed in the early game. He said, I lost both of these games in the early game, and these games should have been completely over, but I actually made it quite close. And he sounded quite proud when it came to that. The music is a bit loud. Oh, we can... Oh, you're right. Put it up too far. Yeah, so he sounded happy about it. This is going to be a best of 5. We have 2 best of 5s today and 1 best of 7. And we're playing basically majority of the upper bracket part today. Did you get an answer why MaxPax built the Colossus Berserk? Oh, I didn't actually end up asking him. I forgot. I also didn't want to ask him after he lost 4-0, I decided. And I also forgot. So I'm not sure how much of a decision it really was, because I really just forgot. I'm trying to justify why I wouldn't do it, even if I hadn't forgotten. It's not a nice thing to do. Alright. Multi-Reaper opener here, as these builds have been transitioning into different follow-ups lately. Initially, when this started, it really was a lot of 3 Rex pressure. It went into 2 base all-ins quite a bit. Nowadays, we have a lot of factory follow-ups as well. Ooh. This feels like a faster factory than most, though, but I could be wrong. Because I feel like usually you get a reactor or a tech lab first, before the factory. But I haven't actually paid so much attention to the build execution. So I could just be off on that. He's gonna get reactor plus tech lab right now. Why didn't you stream yesterday? Oh, internet trouble. My internet was just cut for the entire day, really. From like 8 in the morning till like 7 or so. It was awful. I didn't know what to do. Just sat inside staring at the wall for hours. I had long talks with my router trying to convince it to work again. Come on, brother, is this really necessary? I know I haven't been treating you too well, and I usually only come here to reset you, but... Today, out of all days? Really? He wouldn't say nothing back. I reset him a couple of times. Walked away. Ay. In my times, people would use their phone data. I used phone data, but I think there was just something wrong. We had a big storm the night before, so I think there was some problems with just the overall internet. So I tried streaming on my phone data, but that absolutely didn't work. Because you require a lot of upload for this. And consistently good upload, so that didn't work. And then even doing like basic things on the data it was going poorly. Might have something to do with the hotspot from my phone. But even on Irene's phone, it also didn't work. And we're at different companies, different telecom providers. So I don't know. It just seemed crappy. Let's see what we have. Ooh, Reapers are gonna get surrounded. As one Reaper will go down, SERRAL pulls back with those links. We'll keep him alive. Follow-up here is going to be... Oh, mine drops. I'm never so sure what to think of mine drops. No, actually, I have a pretty strong opinion on mine drops in this matchup. It feels like mine drops are something that you do against a player that isn't very quick. It really feels like mines are better used in armies or once Drilling Claws finishes later on. Because in this phase of the game, first of all, Overlord spread is going to be phenomenal. SERRAL is going to be hyper-focused because nothing is happening. Look at this. Look at the threat here that MARU is putting on SERRAL. Does he really believe that SERRAL isn't capable of responding in time to a mine drop when legitimately nothing else is going on? Like, this is naively optimistic in my opinion, and it never works. It never works. It really never works. I just don't quite understand this. Was this really worth it? No, it wasn't. Significant delay on his initial push out. 4 mines that get destroyed. Medevac that's getting taken out. This was a terrible trade, and it's always the case. Look how much freedom SERRAL's getting here right now. 2 Evo chambers, Baneling speed, 7 more workers. He's moving up to 71, 72, 73 workers, as he's taking these extra extractors as well. The only thing that can deal damage are these 2 marine drops. Not this type of mine drop. These marine drops, and you can boost these marine drops by having hellbats with it, or even a couple of mines with it. But I think dropping mines in the way that he did, it's a skill check. And that is not something you do against SERRAL. You don't skill check SERRAL because he passes them. He passes every single skill check every single time. Nothing going on the map. No Hellion harass, no nothing. Like, how can you expect to deal damage with a 4 mine drop? This might work on the Korean ladder, but this is Europe, baby. We do things different here, alright? Ridiculous opener, really. Now, that being said, this is the worst map that is consistently being played in best of 5s and best of 3s for Zerg. I was talking about this with Lambo the other day, and he said it was pretty funny because SERRAL always says, Heartlet is not so bad, and then he also always loses the map. It's just like, that is some heavy copium. We got our first super chat, or at least the first one I see, by Bread and Gatorade. Hey, caught another life. Keep it up, boss. Thank you, buddy, for the 5 USD. Much appreciated, though. Like, this type of mine drop, I don't mind as much because there's a threat on the map already out of MARU. At the same time, Baneling's moving in. Gonna deal a little bit of damage. So I'm not necessarily opposed to the idea of a mine drop. Like, just the concept. I like the concept of a mine drop. I think it's good. It's better with Drilling Claws, but even without Drilling Claws, it can be fine. But if there's nothing going on against a race that has full map vision with Overlords and has instant defensive units in Queens, easy access to detection in case you build an armory with it due to how quickly the Spore builds, and the requirement being nothing, like, yeah, I think just pure mine drops by themselves while nothing is going on are usually dumb. And I don't understand it. Now, MARU has managed to get himself into an okay-ish position here. I don't think he's going to be capable of achieving very much. The supply is perhaps a little bit deceiving because it looks very close, but the supply quality for SERRAL is actually extremely high. His Baneling count is very high, and that translates now into a fantastic fight. As 2 more mines are going to get taken out. Yeah, this game, honestly, if this was any other map than Heartlet, I would call this game. SERRAL does not lose from positions like this very often. And I'm not expecting him to lose from this position, even on this map. But if there's a map on which it's gonna happen, if there's a player that's gonna do it, it's gonna be MARU on hard lead. Yeah, MARU once again sprinkling in those Marauders, like he did last time as well. With that single tech lab. 3 3-racks, 3 extra 3-racks, adding in early Marauders. We'll see how it's gonna work out. This drop is actually dealing significant damage. We'll be forced to, well, face significant damage. 4 drones. Let's not, let's not go too crazy here now. Let's not go too crazy. He killed a couple of workers, alright? Creep spread throughout the middle of the map is good. On the edges, a little bit mediocre. Ideally, SERRAL would want to cover that left side watchtower and perhaps a little bit further away from that, what is that, like the 12 o'clock base as well. A little bit down that ramp is what you want. Depots here are being taken out. That's good. That's big. Drilling claws could get blasted. No, it does end up finishing in time. I think SERRAL might actually be setting up for a timing attack. This is not how SERRAL usually does things, though. So he must be feeling pretty comfortable in his spot here. He's far out on the map. He's going to send in another Baneling run by, I think. As the new depot wall isn't quite set up yet. There is a tank here defensively. 9 workers going down. Decent enough run by. At this point, though, once there are this many workers out already... Like, if you kill 9 workers and there's 84 workers... 4 command centers capable of building workers... These workers just get replaced. So it's more about the straight up value of what you kill and what you give up. So it's not that big of a deal. Like, you're gonna need to kill way, way more for it to be very important income-wise. This is a cancel, right? Yeah. And a good cancel as well. Last second. Solid stuff. Lurker then now coming out. SERRAL has a solid bank. I almost feel like SERRAL missed an opportunity to push the advantage a little bit. I mean, I like the way that he plays safe. I like how he makes sure that the mid-game is solid as well like that. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, this is already so scary. And this is a very non-committed push here. There's really not that much stuff. And actually, MARU might just die. SERRAL's gonna need to cancel this 6th base. But that is... legit like minus 20 SCVs here that are gonna go down, no? That's a pretty big deal. Hydra Bane coming back as well. Creep's gonna help out. I think SERRAL just wins this game. I also felt like SERRAL was just kind of testing if he could. You know, it's like, am I allowed to be here? You just kind of walk. It's like when people test. I'm not sure if this is the same in every country, but whenever like a pond freezes over, you always have like high school kids that go on the ice, you know? It's like just testing. Is the ice thick enough to carry my weight? It felt like that's what SERRAL was doing. Then he started, you know, first with 1 leg, and then with 2 legs, you know, just feeling, and then starting to jump in the middle. And then once you can do that, you put on the ice skates, start making pirouettes. Dancing on ice, baby. That's what SERRAL was born to do. Yeah, and that ice was strong enough. He just went in, cleared everything. He's now in a phenomenal spot. And he's gonna focus probably on trying to bust that 5th base a couple of times over. And I think MARU actually needs to kind of commit to a defense here, because this is an important area. Vipers are nearby. You know what I still think is underrated? Hold that thought, as we have a couple of blinding clouds coming in. Abduct on the Liberator as well. Lurkers trying to run by. What I was gonna say is one of the things that I think is underrated is is abducting mines. Money-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but mines are always way in front of the Ghost, or very often, and they're absolute key units in defending positions. Yes, tanks are good, but they have somewhat consistent output. With mines, you have to be afraid, and it changes the way you engage. Like here, these mines are very far forward. I feel like abducting mines is not bad. Here we go one more time. No planetary yet. There go all the lips. As this 5th base is in trouble, as MARU altogether isn't. I think MARU is dead, honestly. He's getting owned here. I mean, this feels a little bit unfair because it's not like SERRAL has been outplaying him for the past 5 minutes. Like, SERRAL just got really far ahead in the early game, and then from there on out, he just kind of played it out, and he played it out properly, just like that. Can a mine still shoot if you blinding cloud it? Yes, sir. Most definitely. You can blinding cloud a mine. It just doesn't work. You can blinding cloud it. You can also blinding cloud medevacs. It will stay underneath it, do nothing. Medevac can still heal. You can start 2-rex into 4 mine drop and do 0 damage. Yeah. I mean, if you're going for a 4 mine drop, that's a lot of factory time that you're using. That's a reactor that you're using that's not building double medevacs early. You're delaying your marine push. You're wasting money. Like, you need to deal damage, and there was no damage there, like I said. I wouldn't mind it as much if this starts with a Viking, so you at least clear Overlord vision. But this is like... I'm not saying that my Zerg would have held it, but I'd be surprised if I would have taken a lot of damage. Like, I mean, it's just a single mine drop in full vision. Like, there's one medevac flying in. They don't have drilling claws. There's nothing special. Like, this shouldn't deal damage. Like, this doesn't even work most of the time against high-level tosses, and tosses don't have map vision. We have to respond as it flies in. Like, Zerg has overlords everywhere. Like, I just don't quite understand. And they have better standard base defense if they get caught out of position. Like, if it's a surprise. Like, they have queens there anyway. So it's like, I don't know. To be honest, it feels like MARU just enjoys playing this mine drop despite it never doing anything. I think that's how MARU picks his build orders. Like, looks at his Excel spreadsheet. And there's like different ratings for them. It's like, hey, this build has 95% win rate. But 2 out of 10 in the fun rating. The games are just over really fast. They're like, no. It's like a big cross to the 2-rex. It's like, nah, no 2-rex for me. No proxy 2-rex. It goes down the list. They're like, mine drop. I enjoy that. Checks the win rate, 15%. It's like, see if we can get that bad boy to 17% today. It's like, no. Besides the build order failure, he also didn't deal damage with any drop. Well, the thing is that it's kind of snowbally, right? Or else, like, it's very momentum-based dealing damage when it comes in TVZ. Like, if you have a big investment in your first attack and it does nothing, it's the same with if you do a Hellbat all-in or a Hellbat attack and you don't deal damage, like, your follow-ups are gonna suck and it's gonna be much harder to deal damage. If you deal damage with the first one, it's going to be easier to deal damage with the second because there's less stuff for your opponent to defend. So it's kind of momentum-based very often is what it feels like to me. Now, what do we have over here? A little bit of a CC first into factory. You can play this in multiple ways. So you can play Reaper first or Marine first. I think you need to mix it up a little bit. In case you're playing against like a 6-ling attack or something along those lines. It's nice to have a Reaper. But if you don't play a lot of CC first, it's fine anyway. And these days almost all Terrans low ground wall. So going for like Ling attacks is kind of risky. Ooh. It's a fast starport. That is actually a pretty fast starport, not gonna lie. I'm gonna swap these two. I hope it's just gonna be cars. Cars or cyclones. Alright, yeah, okay, it's just gonna be straight up cars. Full mining here in the gas. Makes you wonder what it's gonna be, because it's gonna be floating quite some gas. That's a guarantee. Tech lab does get built here. SERRAL almost manages to run out, but instead it's just gonna stay in. Could potentially even scout that third CC. Which is kind of nice information, honestly. SERRAL's just getting a lot of good info here. Can we see if he's seen... has he seen that? Thank you, Observer. That is good observing. Okay, hasn't spotted that third base. Which is nice for MARU. It's gonna help him out a little bit. Banshee Cloak on the way. Overlord's gonna come in. It's gonna... Ooh. Doesn't quite get the confirmation that it is a third CC or a Banshee. So SERRAL swimming in the dark a little bit right now. Second factory. It's gonna be Mech. Mech? It's gonna play Mech. I was afraid of committing here to the word Mech. Because for a second I was like, wait, is it possible there's like some Blue Flame Helium build into Bio? The answer is no. Where's that second factory? Where's that? I didn't see where it was being built. Oh, it's right there. It's gonna get scouted. That is huge. Show it, observer. Show that it was scouted. Was it scouted? Because there's a Baneling nest going down, which is not what you'd expect. Maybe he thought it was a barracks. I don't think SERRAL saw this. He might have seen it, but I don't think he clicked the building. He thinks it's a barracks. Because otherwise you'd get a Roach Warren, I'm pretty sure. How about this observer shows me, though, if it was spotted altogether? That would be a nice start of things. So it's going to be Banshee Mech here. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of adding a Raven into this. If he does that, it turns from Banshee Mech into Disney Mech. Raven needs to be built before the 4th Banshee. That is the only requirement. Spire on the way. I don't entirely know if this is SERRAL's response to Mech. It feels like it isn't. But at the same time, I almost never see him play Spire versus Bio. So now I want to know even more what he scouted. Should we write down this question? In case we get a winner's interview. So we don't forget. You guys keep it in mind. I don't have a pen. I do have a pen. Look at this. This is how we do it. Golden Aura. Muta as response to Mech. So I want to know that. I don't know if he plays it as a response to Mech or not. I mean, at this point he surely knows, but he's kind of committed to this setup, no? It's not like he can now transition into roaches all of a sudden, like he's going 8 gas. It feels like he's ill-prepared for this, though. No, like, am I crazy, or does he feel ill-prepared? Like, he's giving up this base. He had no clue what was happening. I'm 90% sure. This is a good run by holy crap. See, this is the difference between good players and very, very good players, and experts. Okay? Good players, they would... Very often they don't think about the Ling run by or a counter-attack as the solution to their problems. But look how much pressure, like how it got alleviated here. Is that the correct term? I think so. Just because of that Ling run by. Like Cyclones had to go back home to deal with it. Now Mutas actually, like he created space for his Mutas to fly across the map. Needs to be careful though, he's gonna lose one Muta. Almost the second one goes down. 5 more Cyclones on the way. Do we have no turret in the main? Oh no, MARU here just dying again. Oh my god. Freaking SERRAL, man. He's beasting this series. Absolutely. Thor on the way. Here comes the first few turrets. Two more Thors as well coming out. Now, this was fun and all for SERRAL. And he's went up to 90 drones. But the question that I have... Isn't this what you always get against Mech? Like, you're always getting to your drone count. And now there's a massive investment in these Mutas. They need to do something. Is he going to be capable of doing something? Hey, what's up, Lambo? You want to join? Or are you just chilling? Because now he's going to go into Glio Reconstitution. Or you're in the gym? What the hell? That's the priorities of Lambo, guys. If you were wondering. SERRAL versus MARU going on. He's working on his muscles. That's how much he loves the fans. Let's make sure the muscles look good for the next tournament. Alright. Banshee's floating around. So, I mean, is it really that good? Yeah, SERRAL has map control. Yeah, he's taking the gold. But how is MARU gonna die against these Muras? And what are these Muras still gonna achieve, you know? We have the freaking Great Wall of turrets over here being constructed by MARU. You know what I also don't understand? If you have freaking 15 turrets in the game, how about we get the freaking range upgrade or the building armor upgrade? Surely that's gonna be worth it at this point, you know? It just makes no sense to me. I feel like Terrans have like an order in which they're supposed to be building the upgrades. And they can't, you know, they can't change from it. Just completely tunnel visioning on, first I need to get the +3 attack upgrade before I'm allowed to get armor upgrades for the buildings. It's like, no, actually. In this particular game, if you're legit building 25 turrets before getting a single bio unit, the only thing you got was like 1 Marine in the early game, you might just want to get turret range. Like, that's a big deal. Or the building armor, that's a pretty big deal too. MARU just continues expanding. So, although these Muras were very fun, and they dealt a lot of damage, like, right now they feel like death weight, and in a way, they're kind of impeding SERRAL's ability to take good fights, because his army supply is smaller than it should be. Like, look at these Muras. These Muras are absolute losers. They don't fight well. Mura is the ultimate bully, you know? He has one of these straws. These are like one of them pipes. You blow like these paper balls with spit on them. At someone else in your classroom. But then when you get close to the Muralisk and you start beating him up, not so strong anymore. Yeah. How about that, James? Who's winning now? Not you. Ladies fist. +3 vehicle weapons. You also have the armor upgrade coming in on the eBay for potential ghosts. So it's going to be a ghost transition. Neuroparasite, Burrow, chitinous plating. So this late game is starting to take shape, but at the same time, SERRAL is in a weird spot here where he now kind of has the army he probably wanted much earlier. I think he kind of got bait. Oh, this is a good fight though. This looks like a very nice fight for him. Clearing all of these hellbats. Yeah, that was good. Needs to be careful that he doesn't overstay his welcome with the roaches. He's gonna lose a lot there. Killed 17 workers behind this, but look at the SCV production for MARU. Just building 4 or 5 workers at a time. Still 87 workers. I'd love to see the resource loss stamp here. The only thing that SERRAL has going for himself in this game currently, except for this run by, and the subsequent attack that's gonna hit the far right side. This is a good run by. And that created a lot of space. It felt like that 5th base was vulnerable there. What I was gonna say is one of the main things that SERRAL has going for himself is the fact that he's mining the gold base very early. I'd love for SERRAL to take the top right as well. If he can take the top right and mine gas, that is a big deal. Because no way MARU is ever going to touch that gold base. That gold base is his right now. So SERRAL has gotten one of the neutral bases. He's going to move in over here. He's going to try to trade. Might get a planetary, but might not have enough Banes. Oh, it's pulling a Miko over here. As this planetary survives with about, what? 100, 120 HP or so? SERRAL actually somewhat broke. 9 SCVs did go down somewhere, but SCVs are not... They're not an issue. It is not something that I'm worried about. Do we have Adrenal, by the way? I think we do, right? SERRAL's quite tight usually with his Adrenal timings. It's gonna burrow these links, or just gonna run them around. Yeah, it's gonna burrow. He even split burrows these links. Individual links split burrowed. Yeah, one scan is still gonna reveal both. MARU needs to deal with that. That is really well done. That's so funny. SERRAL now is gonna put his crosshair on the left side of the map. And say, hey, what about that planetary on your 4th? Is that something, you know? Can we maybe make a deal there? Where you take 25 of my banelings and I take a planetary and 30 SCVs. That's a trade offer that I think MARU not willing to accept as he moves his SCVs away, realizing that that base is gone. There's no backup CC though. That means this base is vulnerable. Tanks will need to move over. Ghost gonna be rotating there as well. Sensor tower stays alive. That's a big deal. It's gonna allow him to easily counter-rotate in the future. And I think... Oh, Raven on the way. Look at this. Pay attention, Terran players. You seeing that? MARU starts a Raven, realizing that the only way he's gonna lose fights is by getting burrowed in faster underneath his army. MARU, the only Terran, together with REYNOR, who's figured out that Terran actually has mobile detection, and turrets and scans are not the only things they have. This feels like a good attack, but it doesn't kill a whole lot. Oh, here come neural parasites. That is 2-3 Tors that go down. SERRAL here hitting the sweet spot when it comes to timings, by the way. Look at that. Just before that Raven pops out. Doesn't really... I think that's a good trade, but not as convincing as I would have hoped. Okay, command center now flying over towards that left side. It's gonna turn into a planetary. Sometimes I wonder if getting a planetary at bases that frequently get attacked is even the best thing to do. It feels like sometimes it's just better to have an orbital in these locations because you can lift it, so you don't lose a base every time they attack. The worst thing that's going to happen is you lose 5-6 workers and maybe your refineries. Is that a second Raven that's getting built here, or is that still the first one? Maybe he has a Raven with every army? Imagine that, 2 Ravens. How does he even control his units then? God, this guy's an idiot. F2 isn't the best hotkey anymore. This is how Terrans evaluate moves. It's like, does my F2 still work? Can I still control my entire army with one hotkey? Which is basically the same question asked twice, but I mean, that's what you get when you talk to Terran players. Right, this base is gonna be toast. Like, imagine this was an orbital, right? You lift it. What did you lose? 2 refineries, 2 SCVs. Not bad. This is a good attack. Not sure for who, because these 2 Hellbats cleared 35 links. So maybe it wasn't a good attack for SERRAL. Probably was a good attack for MARU, or good defense for MARU. SERRAL now perhaps trying to transition into air, as he has +2 air weapons already. +3 range as well. Orbital and planetary take the exact same amount of Banes to kill as well. Yeah, but I'd hope that a Terran doesn't lose his orbital to banelings. Because you can lift it. That is the advantage. It's a good blinding clouds here. As this one Ultra's going ham. There's no Overseer with it though. As Ultra's still moving in forward. Actually getting good trades. Ghost not in position to deal with this as they were fighting a single Ultra on the top side. Tanks are on siege too. Planetary is helping out here. Oh, we get a neat little EMP there out of SERRAL. Love to say it. SERRAL's now taking the top right as well. After he's sucked dry that golden base on the bottom left. And this could perhaps signal a switch of SERRAL as well to start attacking that top right side more. Well, one of the main things that is, of course, the advantage of the planetary is that against small run-bys, it just defends itself, right? So against a pure Ling attack, like 12 Lings, you'd rather have a planetary. But SERRAL never just attacks with 12 Lings. But maybe that's because there's planetaries everywhere, you know? I feel like sometimes some bases are better suited, though, to be an orbital. That's just my opinion, though. Like, Liberator plus orbital is pretty good, I think. Because it requires anti-air units, which is something that Zerg doesn't really want to build at this stage of the game. Like, if there's almost nothing of, of substance in the air. Liberator here dealing some damage. Resources lost is 37k to 30k. This is actually good for SERRAL. This is a good ratio. Given the fact that he's mined out the gold base, mineral-wise, almost completely. He's been denying this base at a high pace, consistently. And he's mining from the top right. Now, the top right is going to be I think, a pivotal area here in this game. I have a difficult time seeing how MARU is going to win this game, letting it survive. Look at that anti-armor missile. 2 anti-armor missiles. Those are big hits. This is a good fight for MARU, isn't it? Resource loss-wise, was it? 37 to 30. Actually, fairly even. Much more even than I thought. Much more even than I thought. SERRAL doesn't look happy with it, though. So he lost some position, perhaps? Although I'm not sure how much we care about this position. How about we show the gold base, Mr. Observer? I want to see how much gas there is in these extractors. Click it. Click these extractors. Yeah, the minerals are empty. I can see that. Click the extractors for me, please. Cuckoo, Mr. Observer. Why don't you click the gases? Da-da-da. Oh, no. The orbital here being pushed back by 3 corruptors and a Ling. Ooh, no shot. Yeah, no way, buddy. Okay, that base is toast. It's really important to see how much gas has been mined there. I also want to see why is SERRAL not taking extractors top right? This is one of the things that I really feel like is still a bit underrated. Is prioritizing mining on the outside bases, or the neutral bases as we call them. It still feels like, especially Zerg players, too often, they'll have these bases for 5-6 minutes, and then they have a fully saturated fort base. While this neutral base, they have it under control and they're not mining from it. This is potentially a good fight for SERRAL. Ghosts are available, are gonna shoot. When I said potentially a good fight, what I meant was, that looks awful. What an idiot for going in there. That did not go well. It's gonna send this Ultra to its death as well. No escapes. Love to see it. Top right side here is under heavy fire. 15 brutes. The Thor count continues to grow. Holy crap. Like, this is the last army for SERRAL, no? Like, there's no follow-up army here. This is it. So SERRAL's gonna slow down the game right now. And I think that is the correct call. Slow down the game and focus on the top right. I think that is the sequence here that we're gonna be following. Let's not forget how bad the early stages of the mid-game were. Like, as in, a lot of workers went down, SERRAL had complete control. But I think this is kind of the case with mech, is that you automatically get to go into kind of a late, like early late game scenario. There it can get tricky, but I don't really see MARU die once he has 5 tanks out when he's playing mech, to be honest. It's rare to see. Yeah, this base is being sieged up. I think MARU understands what the deal is here. It feels to me like he understands what the deal is. And the deal is simple. If MARU mines that base, MARU wins. If SERRAL mines that base, it's gonna be close. If no one mines that base, it's also gonna be close. But probably MARU wins. Because MARU has just been trading better so far. Let's see another resource lost here, if possible. The way that SERRAL's gonna do this is kind of old school. Broodlord, Infestor, Viper. Get a scan on the bottom left. How about we click the extractor? Please, why does he keep clicking the mineral patches and not the extractors? I want to see how much gas there's in these extractors. Like I can see that there's like 250 minerals left in these on these patches, but I can't see that on the extractor. There's no visual indicator that an extractor is almost empty. Holy crap! So frustrating. Okay, it's gonna get a couple of kills, or one kill at least on with an abduct on that liberator. And now every second that goes by is a really bad second for SERRAL here. Four more starports on the way? What the hell is he gonna build? What? Is he gonna go Viking Lip? That's a big anti-armor missile. No shot you're pushing in here, SERRAL. No. No, that's a nuke. That is a nuke. Yeah, he sees it. Okay, he wanted to snipe the ghost. Not like that, buddy. You're not gonna solar out of this game. Pushing forward with the spores right now. Viking production is starting. Ah, look at the ship weapon upgrades. MARU's been slacking on that hardcore. No excuse for that available either. I'm sure Terrans can find one. Good fungals. Gonna take out a lot of these hellbats. Control on the brutes is phenomenal here, by the way. Where are the ghosts? Okay, they're on the far right. Do we have an overseer with this army? Can we get a fungal on the ghost? A couple of snipes. EMP's missing. Overseer moving forward. SERRAL absolutely out-controlling his opponent here. Overseer does get sniped. Planetary gets blasted. That's a big fungal. That was a really big fungal. That could have had some potentially bad consequences here. And I think in these tight situations, with spores as a backup, I kind of like it for SERRAL. Now, that's a good fungal once again there on the right side. Another good fungal there on the right side. Can we get one more to clear these ghosts? Yeah, we barely can. An issue that I'm struggling with, or a unit that I'm struggling with here, is going to be the Viking. So the thing with Vikings is if they go unchecked, they're pretty good against brutes. They are going to need their full upgrades. It's honestly... It's a bloody shame, is what it is. That these Vikings don't even have +2 ship weapons yet. This is not a good performance. A lack of anticipating what was about to come, I think, out of MARU. Perhaps did not expect the mass Broodlord transition, but... Yeah, I think that can be considered a bit sloppy. He's not gonna make that mistake again, because this is silly. Vikings benefit so much from upgrades, right? So, ooh, that was a sacrificial ghost. Yeah, but look at this, look at this. This is the type of stuff. Poof. Poof. That's 2 snipes. How are you gonna deal with that? It's gonna be fungals, it's gonna be parasitic bomb. Viking count is insane here. And another problem is that the person that has this base has an objective to defend, which could be bad. These were some interesting EMPs, as I think they hit nothing. Look how low the gas count is here for SERRAL. He's still mining from that left bottom side as well. By the way, good fungals here connecting. Parasitic bomb as well on those Vikings. A lot of Vikings disappearing from the face of the earth. This was a good trade for SERRAL. The problem is just that he doesn't have a whole lot of gas in bank. He hardly has any gas in bank. That's why I said earlier, gotta mine that gas ASAP. These extractors, he could have gotten at least 1k gas from this base with the time that he had it. But he didn't, because he was busy mining from his 3 o'clock, which was completely safe. Now he's gonna move forward, gets a good fungal here. That's a huge fungal. Holy crap. We're 1 fungal or 1 parasitic bomb away from all Vikings exploding. It seems like MARU isn't entirely sure what to do either. Like, he went into 4 starport extra, then started building Vikings. Now he had a couple of fights with the Vikings, like... This is not working, is it? SERRAL's like, no. This is not entirely working for you, buddy. And now we saw a bunch of Hellbats, more ghosts being produced. Now we're back into Viking and Lip production. He's gonna get a fusion core. He didn't have advanced ballistics yet. That is a big deal, because advanced ballistics is really useful against infestors specifically. Very, very useful. And infestors are a big deal if you have Vikings. Liberator, a great zoning tool. The problem, like, you want to have some tank still, but the problem with tank is obviously that the moment that Broodlings start falling out of the sky is that the tank starts shooting its own units in splash, which is not great. SCVs here being sent onto the map. Turrets here being taken out. Oh. No planetary here. Gonna lose all of these SCVs as a result. So against this type of stuff, having a planetary is extremely nice. Although a Liberator surrounding the base would probably do a fairly decent job as well. But he had neither. MARU right now is not building anything. So he shouldn't be fighting, right? He's gonna get +3 ship weapons at this point. The problem for MARU is that MARU wants to force SERRAL away from that base. Because he doesn't want to attack into it until he's maxed. And until he has +3 ship weapons. But every second that goes by is a second in which SERRAL is mining that base. Which is a bad second. So there's loads of bad seconds right now. There's two mediocre options here for MARU. The first option is to wait until he's maxed. And then let SERRAL mine, create a bank for himself. The second option is attacking without being maxed, without +3 ship weapons. And this is a problem that he created for himself. Because he just wasn't producing for a long time. And of course the fact that he didn't continue upgrading properly after getting all vehicle weapons and vehicle plating. Yeah, double armory. 30 minutes in game. Yeah, I think we can expect the +3 ship weapons to be done at this point. For sure. Especially knowing where this game was heading. Still made the position. The SERRAL drone attack over here. On the starport. I mean, I don't understand why SERRAL wants to move forward here. Am I crazy? Why does SERRAL, like, can't he, you know? Like, unless there's nukes, which there aren't, good luck fighting into this angle. Liberators are going to push this forward. Tanks can unsiege. Yeah, so he's using the lip tank combination. The thing is that the tanks are the weak link here. Now the Thors are trying to move forward. That's -1 lip. That's -2 lips. Good move. And I thought the tanks were the weak link. Imagine how weak the lib is. Or imagine how weak the tank is if the Liberator goes down. Because if you move too far forward here with anything... Okay, that was an interesting call. SERRAL is just setting himself up there. You saw that? He's getting ready for the fight. He sits up straight. Gets some energy. Because he's ready to go now. Like, this is pushing too far. Doesn't want his opponent to be capable of walking through the choke. He wants his opponent to fight in the choke. Link drone still running by here on this base. Spores moving in lib range, which is an interesting call. I mean, SERRAL's not in a hurry. This base isn't under fire. He's still mining from it. Refinery here is being taken out. Like, if anything, the longer this game goes, the better it is for SERRAL. And SERRAL's just picking off units. He's trading energy for units, which is a good trade. Because energy regenerates automatically, and you can take it out of buildings as well if you're a Viper. That was sloppy as he loses a bunch of links. But it feels like the limiting factor is going to be gas here for... At least for SERRAL. MARU just has no resources whatsoever to speak of. He actually has 600 gas, which is decent. Baneling count is reasonable as well. It's going to be nice against Hellbat Ghost, although both of these counts are not very significant. And if SERRAL gets the mine out this base, the game ends, right? He just has too much money in that case. I think MARU is aware of that. Yeah, I mean... He's gonna try to go in here. This is a good fight for SERRAL once again. Like, these short little trades, this is exactly what SERRAL wants. A, he's not losing any units. And even if he were to lose units, in an efficient trade, that's good for him, because he has a bank. His opponent doesn't have a bank. He's up about 40 army supply right now. Vikings moving into the Spore range. Spore's taking out the final medevac. Liberator moving into Spore range as well. Both of these might just die. No, Spores go down first. Here comes SERRAL. Lots of burrowed infestors. Thors being taken over as the Corruptors moving forward. Do we have a parasitic bomb anywhere? I don't quite see it. SERRAL's losing a lot of supply, but so is MARU. And I think MARU just dies. Has a lot of anti-air. Are these brutes just gonna die? This is such an awkward situation. There are no queens, there are no spores. Corruptors right now are going in, 8 queens being produced. I mean, there's nothing for MARU to follow this up. If MARU had any amount of money, this would have been sick. But he just has no cash. This is such a silly situation. I think SERRAL believes that he might have lost. Look, he looks pretty upset. Because he has no clue how much money his opponent... If MARU had 1k in the bank here, that could have probably been it. But there's no money in the bank for MARU. Dude, SERRAL has no clue what's going on. Because you don't know, right? It's like if your opponent... It's like he has an exact number of what his opponent had. GG. Oh, look how upset he was. Oh, he was not happy with that. He was not happy with that. I wonder why he was not happy with this game. Another question we can ask in the winner's interview. We already have 2 questions now. When he inevitably owns his opponent, as SERRAL always does. Why upset after game 2? Question mark. That was a good game, though. That was a good game. As a viewer, I enjoyed that. Super chat 65 Swedish kroner. Thank you for your cast, Captain. Thank you, Cat Bertino, for the cash. Much appreciated. As always. Let's see if we missed any Twitchers as well. Quickly, don't worry, guys. When you see my face full screens because nothing else is happening. Thank you, XScout15, for the raid. And that's it. That's beautiful. Mac always delivers. Yes. Mac always delivers. I can't remember a single game of Mac versus Zerg which was boring. You're right. Mac just always delivers. Just forgetting the better part of StarCraft history in which Goody still was active. Mac always delivers, he says. That has to be the sickest statement I've ever heard. The only thing that Mac delivers is an increase in suicides on Zerg players. That's it. Mac always delivers when it comes to that. But nothing else. Like, Mac versus Zerg has to be some of the most frustrating gameplay in the world. Holy crap. Mac delivers failure? 33 minutes versus a Terran on 4 bases. I would pull out my hair. Net benefit to the world. Nah. No shot, dude. I cannot imagine the stamina just to jump into the next game after that. Yeah, this is difficult, I think. I find these games very hard. And for both players as well. Why does SERRAL look so upset? Holy crap. It's like he's flaming himself. Just judging by the camera, you have no clue who's winning. Makes no sense. MARU looks tired. Here we go, guys. It's coming. The Korea boos in the chat. They're coming out in force. He's jet-lagged. Bad night of sleep. He's been in a construction site for the past few days. His neighbors have been drilling the entire time. There's a decent amount of lag as well to all servers. Even if they were to play on Korea, I believe that SERRAL has better ping. I also just find it funny that the prime biological time for MARU is in the afternoon, and so is it for SERRAL, and yet they always play in European afternoon. What about that, huh? Now, I don't support conspiracy theories, but that's not a conspiracy theory, that's just the truth. It's always European prime time, isn't that interesting? Sure, MARU wakes up at 4 PM on the average day, but That's because he knows they don't want to play at his biological prime time. Triple Reapers are moving out. I guess this is the actual build order. I wasn't aware of this. I'm sorry. I thought it was an interesting thing that the factory was before the reactors, but apparently this is standard. I just didn't know. It actually makes sense with how the builds flow. I should have been capable of figuring that out myself. So what I thought would happen when you play Triple Reaper, they're playing on the wrong version of the map, by the way. They're playing on the bugged version of the map, but it doesn't matter. Right? I'll explain that after. But what I thought would happen is that you go Reactor Tech Lab and then Factory, but they play Factory and then Reactor Tech Lab. So you can swap the barracks that built the reactor with the factory, which actually makes sense, and what I said made no sense. So I'm sorry about that. That was just wrong. It's always going to be Factory before add-ons. That makes more sense, and that's also how it's played. I thought it was weird because I wasn't too familiar with the exact intricacies of the build. But yeah... So disregard what I said earlier. This is 100%. This is just how it's done. This is not special or interesting. This is the standard and it makes sense. Second thing about the map, you have the ESL map versions, which are the ones that should be played in tournaments if you want to have non-bugged maps. Because some maps, they have bugs on the ladder and then they get fixed for tournament play. So on this particular map, there is a Reaper jump spot on the top side where you saw MARU's Reaper. He was, you know, freaking out. Like he's getting a stroke. He's not getting a stroke, he just can't jump off the ramp. Which is frustrating for him. This is the same build that herO was playing, by the way. When we were watching... Oh, it was yesterday when I was casting that by myself. It was herO versus... Solar. herO versus Solar. He played the 6 Hellion Liberator build. This is a very popular one, and then the 2 Cyclone into 4 Hellion is really popular as well. These are the 2 most popular follow-ups with Fast Factory. Is the ladder version bugged? Yeah. Yeah, ladder version is bugged. There are on, I think, 3 maps, or 4 maps, changes have been made in the ESL versions. And this is the wrong version that's being played. So this is probably the ladder edition. It doesn't really matter so much. In PvT it's often a big deal, and TvT as well. TVZ not so much. At least not in this game, so that's nice. Someone explained the bug. Oh, the Reaper just gets stuck on the top ramp. Like he can't jump down. And he's just kind of stuck in a texture or something. I'm not sure how it works. If you go back in the VOD, you can see one of the Reapers getting stuck temporarily. You need to manually reroute it in order to get out of it. Which is not the biggest of deal, but if you're fighting in a Reaper versus Reaper battle in TvT, it can be a big deal. This is a cool push, by the way. These are the type of interactions we've been seeing quite a bit. So we have this type of Hellion Reaper attack. We have a Liberator in the main, and then at the same time, there's a double drop. So it's like, there's 3 moving pieces out of the Terran, and Zerg needs to properly like move their defenses and rotate in such a way to deal with it. And that can be very tricky. SERRAL, very good at it though. It's done a phenomenal job. He's gonna lose this fort, which is frustrating because he wants to go to a higher drone count after stopping the 2 Rex pressure, right? So this is another thing with 2 Rex builds, is that there is a very strong timing of the first 2 medevacs, and then sometimes with medevac 3 and 4 still pretty strong as well, because that's when combat shield often finishes up. That has finished up already, right? Combat? Sometimes I can't see it properly. Do we have combat there? I think he forgot combat shield. Did he? There's no combat shield. Am I crazy? My eyes are not great. The quality of this stream is not great. So usually what I was gonna say here is that the main 2 timings are with like the stim timing with 2 medevacs and the combat shield 1-1 timing with 4 medevacs. Oh, that was a flank! That SERRAL's eating him. Yeah, he's being eaten. But because you have so little production, actually, there's a big drop-off in consistent, like, in kind of, in sustain in the push. So you're adding 3 barracks right now, as you can see, and there's 3 reactors being built. So there's a long downtime where you're building production and nothing is being added in. While if you think of, for example, like a standard triple CC opener, you start with 3 racks as your main production source. So you have a more sustain in your marine production because you just have an extra reactor that's pumping marines. This is again a good fact. SERRAL's owning this game. It doesn't look like it, but he's absolutely owning. Like if you just look at the supplies here, you're like, but you shouldn't make those noises because that's weird. You should just look at the bank, look at the bases that SERRAL has managed to establish already. The fact that he has Hydras, like. I think he's in a very, very good spot. I really believe so. And we're one decent fight away right now from something happening. Combat Shield finally starts. The fact that that wasn't done yet really helped SERRAL there in all of these engagements. And SERRAL still is going to have another 40 seconds in which technically MARU is not allowed to ever fight. You just can't. You can't fight without Combat Shield. And he's been doing it, and he's been failing. I think SERRAL might go for a 2-2 timing. He doesn't have an infestation pit yet. He might even give for a 1-1 timing. He might just kill his opponent here. If that tank goes down, what is there defensively? There's a backup tank. That's what's there defensively. This tank is going to get sniped. That is nice as a start. There are no units on the map for MARU. Infestation pit goes down now. So it seems like SERRAL still wants to kind of transition out of this. I think SERRAL still has a timing with 2-2. I'm just looking at things that are finishing for both players. When I'm quiet for a little bit, it's because I'm thinking. When I'm speaking, that's when you know I'm not thinking. Thoughtless speech comes out the entire time. Oh, here we go. This is going to get pushed back. Like, the creep is good. This is bad. This is real bad for MARU. That is a huge deal. Because that means no more pressure here. I freaking love the director that they have. Like maybe he'll do a funny face. Here goes the 2-2 timing attack out of SERRAL. As the banelings are actually not connecting with the SCVs, which would have been nice. I think that was not greatly controlled, but it's probably still fine as he's up 40 supply. He's gonna try to clear some tanks over here. If there were more links there, he probably would have gotten every single tank. Now he's gonna get one more. That's big. Single tank remaining. And if he goes for the planetary now, I actually think MARU is in serious trouble. So the way you want to do this is Hydra Ling Bane at the planetary, and then I would say you get about 25 to 30 links with 6-7 banelings moving in towards the third. Or just pure baneling. I think a couple of links here would be nice to deal with that tank. I think that would have been real nice. Oh, SERRAL though is going to focus all of his efforts into this base. There's only a single tank remaining anyway. I mean, why not? Might as well try. Like, hey, do I want to fight in a planetary if I can fight in an orbital command? Good control out of MARU is moving back, but SERRAL's just killing so much. SERRAL killed so much there. He killed enough. 15 workers once more. Enough of the ground force as well. First Viper now on the way. SERRAL is the one that starts his upgrades first, by the way. +3 carapace, +1 range. We don't have 3-3 started yet for MARU, and I don't think he's going to start... Well, he should actually start +3 attack soon. It's very important for him. It's vital. He's trying to take a 5th base. I mean, that is not okay, because he can't hold that 5th base. And it is so far out. Maybe like a buffer 5th? Just go over there, John. You tank the first hit. Like, what? Like, that base is not going to survive anything. Like, SERRAL sees it now. He's like, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm pretty sure he can just walk in there. Spit at it a couple of times with his Hydras. And just own it. You don't want to attack into this third anymore. You want to rotate a little bit. There are 2 Vipers out right now. That means a couple of abducts perhaps on these tanks. Nice 5th base. Loving it. I'm not entirely sure what that was for. That was... Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's ignore it. But it's not like MARU has enough cash to just throw command centers at the problem. This usually is a valid strategy. Throw some command centers at the problem. Good. Guess he won a bit of time with this. Hey, SERRAL just has complete control here. Look at this. Quickly expanding towards the bottom and topside base. Couple of mines out here. These are prime abduct mines, if you ask me. Ooh, almost a big hit. Not quite. I mean, you just abduct these guys, no? Pull them in. You belong to me now, buddy. Okay, unironically, I also believe knurling mines is not bad. I know people think I'm joking when I say these things. But mines are just good. If you can have them, I would want them. Imagine if abducting mines wouldn't unburrow them. No, not be a good move to abduct them then. Unless you know you can shoot them before they shoot you. This base needs to be mined ASAP. ASAP. Key base. Absolutely key base. Adaptive talents now on the way. He wants to go into lurkers, or at least pretend to go into lurkers, or have the option to go into lurkers. This is a good... This is something that I think has been underutilized a little bit still. You know what's good with this as well? Is getting a Viper for blinding clouding turrets. I know this all sounds very technical, but I think there's so much time that it's completely fine to do. Like, if you blinding cloud turrets, you just get to go in for free. He's gonna use an empty Overlord for tanking. You see that? Really neat move here out of SERRAL. Same time he's moving in. This is a fake attack. This isn't meant to deal damage. This is meant to distract. And boy is he well, I think he distracted too early. 96 Neil Lings on the way. Yeah. That was very nice. That was cute. Still gonna lose one Overlord, practically full. The other Overlords all survived though. Turrets going down. That what's that? An armory? Okay, the second armory is gonna get taken out. Production in serious shambles here for MARU. And here comes SERRAL, I guess, towards that middle 5th. That's where I'd want to go. Either the middle 5th or the 3rd on the bottom side. I think these are the two prime locations to attack in. Gonna get an abduct in. That's a dead planetary if I've ever seen a dead planetary. We're now at the phase of the game where MARU is running out of bases. So, although these trades, I mean, I think they're efficient, but even if they weren't efficient, I think they still would be good. Couple of links in a row. I think we should go downstairs again with more links going into the main base, no? Listen to this. How about you put an infestor in one of the overlords, you burrow it, and then when the opponent walks up the ramp, you fungal the entire ramp. That sounds like a good move. Underutilized. I really think drops out of Zerg are really, really powerful. And super underused. Because it adds another dimension of attacks that you need to defend. And that pure static usually can't defend. Here's another attack. This base should die. I wonder if you focus with the Hydras on that base or if you're just fighting the units. See a bit of a split path here coming out of SERRAL. He's using some of his Hydras for clearing the CC, some of his Hydras for the Vikings. Couple of links still burrowed there. I mean, MARU is running out of cash. He's mining 1,700 minerals a minute. He's mining a lot of gas. That is a fact. But this third base is almost empty. Natural's about to be empty. And I think the fourth is probably has its like its far patches. So the poor patches. Yeah, they're running dry. You can see it. I think one has already disappeared. So this base is vital. I think MARU has 2 more minutes of mining. That's it. After that, he's done mining. At least mining serious amounts of money. I'm not sure how aware SERRAL is of all of this. He's probably fairly aware. It's gonna go in one more time. Wants to clear this base once and for all. Gets a tank. That is an important tank. That's also an important tank. These tanks are big because they're expensive to rebuild. They take time to rebuild. Oh, the base survives with like freaking 3 HP. SERRAL, though, with plenty of cash in the bank, is gonna throw more banelings at this problem. Is he gonna go for another drop? No, right? No. Okay, base top left is going to go up. Ling run by, heading in towards the naturals. Gonna pick up some reinforcements. Helmets don't even have the blue flame upgrade quite yet. Tank on the high ground is gonna help out, but could go down as well. Or the high ground on the reinforcement depot. 17 workers dying. This is a big run by. There's just not the money to reproduce it. It's game. It's game, 100%. It was game already for a long time. Like, SERRAL played these early games much cleaner than he did last time. And... oh, does that guy have Neural? No, he doesn't. There's nothing to fungal here, because there's just no units. MARU has nothing. And he has these ghosts, but they weren't in the fight. So that was not a valid target at the moment. Yeah, MARU is double expanding right now because he needs to, not because he wants to. This planetary is toast. No replacement available for it. Maybe there's an orbital in the back somewhere. Okay, there's one more orbital. Third base getting destroyed. Yeah, this is the money issue. This is the money issue. Fourth base running dry. Third base not mining right now and also just dry. So this fifth base is vital. 92 army supply to 140. Army supply wise not necessarily looking bad. Positionally though, it's looking dire for MARU. Gonna lose that tank most likely. Yes, sir. His factory is in trouble as well. No tech lab on it, so single factory tank production. It really feels like that drop towards the main dealt serious damage. Kind of broke open the game again. Because until that point, it almost felt like MARU was getting back in. Okay, now it's just over. Like MARU should leave. It's disrespectful at this point. Like you lost a macro game in which you had a good position last time, MARU. Now this isn't even a macro game. MARU is technically one base all-inning, income-wise. 1.5 base. 2 base. I'll give him 2 bases here. MARU is 2 base all-inning, while his opponent is on 6 bases. And is mining some of MARU's bases as well. Okay, this fight's gonna be banging. This fight is gonna be banging. As tanks are going down, SCVs are falling. And with the SCVs, MARU is going to die as well. GG gets called. SERRAL. With the cleanest win there. Let's see how he looks on camera. He looks happy. That's a large smile on SERRAL's face. You guys can't see it anymore. Because I'm quickly messaging him. Hello. Quick winners interview. Yeah, I need to be fast though. SERRAL, whenever he wins, he pisses off instantly. It is possible he says no because he wants to prepare for the next match. I wouldn't blame him for that. It's also possible he's getting tired of me and ignores me. I also wouldn't blame him for that. I can be pretty annoying. So I'll, you know. Either way, we'll give him some credits already. He did a good job here. I don't think he wants to. He's typing a lot. Oh, no. Yeah, I think he's going to go outside or something. Oh, he's typing for a long time, guys. Oh, he's typing for a very long time. He says, hey, we can do after the next round if I would happen to win. If I would happen to win. All right, buddy. If I would happen to win. Excuses always take more time. Yeah, yes is only 3 answers. Yeah. Now we respect this. We respect this. I think this is a... honestly, I wouldn't have even responded to me. If someone would have messaged me, some third-rate player would have messaged me while still having to play a series, I would have ignored him, removed him from my Discord friends, and then flamed him on Twitter after I would have lost the next round. That's what I personally would have done. So SERRAL handled this with grace, a lot of grace even. I think it's the best way he could have handled it. He was nice. He didn't flame me. Didn't insult my family. This is as good as it's gonna get, really. Like, out of all the no responses, this was the best one. Clear, concise explanation. This is why SERRAL's the best player in the world. Because he can, you know, he can, what do you call it? He can deny you, and you still feel good about it. A master negotiator. Not many people know this, but SERRAL was part of the ghostwriting team that wrote Art of the Deal. If we will have against SERRAL and REYNOR semis, do you think REYNOR will pick Protoss race against SERRAL? So there are conflicting stories floating around the internet. I could have fact-checked it by asking REYNOR, but I was lazy and didn't do that. So I don't actually know if he's allowed to. So some people say he's not allowed to switch, period, in this tournament. Some people say he's not allowed to switch mid-series. Some people say he is allowed to switch, but he's afraid. Some people called him a prick. That has nothing to do with the question, but I figured I put it in there as well to have the full, you know, the full picture of what people's opinions are. I'm going to keep an eye on REYNOR versus herO, which is going to be the next match, of course. Now he has an incentive for losing. Okay, he might not like me very much, but I don't think he's going to throw the upper bracket semifinals just to dodge an interview with me. Although I like the thought of me having that much influence over people. So we call it a draw. Thanks for casting for us, hoping for a new era for Swedish StarCraft 2 players. Can't see it happening. Thank you very much, Peder Lengquist, for the 100 Swedish kroner. And I'm also not seeing a Swedish era happening anymore. Are there any Swedish players right now? There's probably a couple. You guys got Namshar. You guys used to have so many. Thorzane, Naniwa, Mini Razor, Zanster, Swordov. Big names. Bishu. Not anymore. Naniwa. I mentioned Naniwa, right? Yeah. MARU seemed off. I think SERRAL just seemed on, to be honest. Like, I know people like to hype this match as a very epic match, because I think it is a pretty epic match. I also like to hype it because I think it's a good match. But at the same time, I think if both players are on, SERRAL just wins every time. I think SERRAL is better, like, by quite a bit. I think if SERRAL plays his best, I think the only player, I'm not even sure if Clem can take him. If both players are at their absolute peak playing, I'm not sure if anyone can beat him late game. He just doesn't lose late games. So and if he's playing well, he gets to a late game because he doesn't die to early garbage. Like, yeah, he just doesn't lose late games. Which is crazy. That is actually kind of crazy. I thought MARU might be the guy if there was anyone. Nah, I don't think it's true. But maybe I'm wrong. But I don't think I was. I also felt like MARU actually lost these games in the early game. Except the second game, which he lost in the late game. But that was close. That was really close. And he also kind of lost a lot of map control in the early game. But then again, when you're playing mech, that's pretty much a given. Now, pish posh. Don't critique the ROSP. What is a ROSP? When does the herO match start? Like, legit in 15 seconds. Oh, it's live now. I needed to go to the restroom first, though. What's the chance this game is gonna go longer than 15 minutes and I pee myself? Yeah. Not very high. All right, ladies and gentlemen. herO versus REYNOR. One of the greatest Protoss players in the world versus one of the greatest Zerg players in the world. Winner will fight SERRAL in the upper bracket finals in a best-of-7 format. That's also still being played today. When will be the next SERRAL game? After this best-of-5. We're going to have a SERRAL game. After this best-of-5, we're going to have a best-of-7, including SERRAL and one of these bad boys. Alright. I'm going to get all the flaming out of the way here in the first 2 minutes while we're waiting. REYNOR right now has his production tab on the top side, as well as his name on the top, while he spawned at the bottom. This annoys me. An absolute crap ton. That's actually all the flaming I'm gonna do for now. I already know I'm gonna mess this up later. When I'm glancing over at the supplies, I'm gonna get confused, and I don't like it. It feels wrong. You know what tournament does this consistently as well? Is the GSL. I can't watch the GSL. Also because there's chains on the side these days. Oh, actually, we're not done with flaming yet. This has to be my favorite thing about the GSL they've ever done. For years, they've been denying community support. Saying foreigners? Yeah. Foreigner audience? Yeah. We're focused on the Korean market. Then they started crowdfunding for the GSL Patreon. Get a crap ton of cash. And then they decided to put chains on the side and force everyone onto the Africa.tv platform. Even the foreigners, despite not focusing on the foreign market for the last 13 years. Unbelievable. Now we're done with the flaming. What do we have here? Let's talk build orders. Actually, you know what herO could do with this wall? Ooh, that's a snipe. That is a snipe. That's a snipe. I'm a fan of that. I give that snipe 4 stars. You know what I was going to say is that what herO can do here is he can play single gateway into Nexus. This is a really good build. 5 stars for the build. His wall is god-awful. Ooh, third queen is out already. That Oracle was late to the party. It's gonna get, I think, 1 kill, maybe? Not nice. Not nice at all. Here come the double adepts. Should not finish that, and he does not. Speed delayed here for REYNOR. He's been doing that quite a bit with these openers. Look at that wall. Oh boy, that wall needs some reinforcement there at some point. That is a Baneling's wet dream. It's looking for something with these adepts. It's not finding it at all. 4 more gates on the way. Oh, I like this build. No, I don't. Never mind. I lied. Oh! Charge +1. Double Oracle, right? Not triple. Okay. It's going to be a serious charge timing here. No robotics facility. This is a very serious charge timing. With +1. Now, key fact here is that REYNOR's already getting a Roach Warren. Hasn't taken any damage whatsoever. This is not a common herO build at all. Where is he warping them zealots? I hope it's behind the gateway line, right? It's not at the 3rd base. If he's warping them at the 3rd base, we're allowed to officially flame herO. But I don't think that's the case. He's adding a couple of pylons here, not wanting to get supply blocked in the future. Where are these zealots going, huh? Little buddy. Okay, zealots in the net. Get 1 more big warp in. Charge about to finish up 10 seconds from now. +1 still about 20 seconds away. These links now moving in. Are they going to get a scout on the zealots? There's no wall. Hello? Oh, REYNOR could have scouted. But he did not get the scout. He's not building roaches. It's pure Ling. Zealots going unspotted on the left side as REYNOR did not take the tower there. +1 is finishing in... well, what is it? Now? Queen's somewhat in position to deal with this. There are no roaches, though. You need to have some roaches on the way. Zealot count extremely low. We have some zealots attacking the fort base, which is definitely a mistake. Or is it? Gets the fort. Now starts attacking this base. REYNOR in a world of trouble. REYNOR in a world of trouble. Takes out one Oracle. Can we get a full wall here? No, we can't. Queen's now chasing this army. Don't forget, Zealots with +1. Real powerful against Lynx. Here comes another Zealot warp in. Are gonna flank these Queens. As a Zealot in the wall and hold position. Was trying to hold units from moving to the third. From the third to the net. I think herO is doing it. Big shade in towards the main with, what is that, 2-3 adapts. It's gonna clear a lot of works. This is game. No, it's not game. But it might. Whoa. Yeah, that's game. REYNOR getting owned here in the first 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. I can't count. The timer says 7:30. REYNOR's gonna try to hold this choke. I think herO should not be straight up attacking into this. That feels weird. Third base probably a bigger priority at this point still, but he's actually just gonna break it. It's fine. He's gonna trade out. GG gets called. And herO with a decisive victory. Nice quality camera there as well. Oh my god. Pretty sure the webcams we had in elementary school were higher quality than whatever piece of crap herO is using right now. They're like a vintage market yesterday. It's like, what is the cheapest and worst camera you have, sir? Oh, this piece of crap. Built in 87. It's been used by an old lady that smoked. So there's a yellow filter on top of it. Like, give it to me. Holy cow. The Chinese production is also like, never mind, guys. I think we might just use the picture of herO here instead. The quality is so atrocious. They might not know who the guy is. What's your cheapest toaster? Does it have a lens? Nope. All right. Hand it over. At Harstem, Kinky Katie and Boba Marines banned for asking you a question. I don't ban anyone. My mods ban people, and my mods have full power to ban people. I've given them specific instructions on what to ban and how to ban. And I stick to my philosophy of rather banning too many people.
Tell Subby's about to get timed out.
Who?
Tell Subby.
Who's Slabby?
Subby.
Who's Subby?
Just say at Subby.
At Subby, you're getting timed out.
No, not yet about.
You're about to get timed out. Moderator just entered my room. Be careful. How to get an unban?
They're not banned.
Oh, they're not banned? They're timed out?
And this guy can't understand the difference. It's pissing me off.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling him. They're not banned, they're timed out. They'll come back at some point. And?
Flaming is not asking a question.
Flaming is not asking a question, guys.
Question, you can ask a question.
Questions can be asked. Yeah, what I was gonna say is it's better to ban 10 innocents than 1 guilty. That's my philosophy in general. No, but I'd rather ban too many people than too little. It's very easy for a chat to go degenerate. And one of the things I'm kind of proud of in the community is how hard we are on dumb stuff. So balance whining, idiotic stuff, like even balance baiting is very frustrating. And this type of stuff, although it's technically not illegal, you can get banned for. I'd rather have people be too careful. This is not a place of free speech. We take people out fast. This is my house. If you ruin the atmosphere in my house, you're getting kicked out. So we ban, we time out quickly. We don't ban very harshly. Like you have to push it far to get banned. A timeout is a warning, basically. There's no warnings. The warning is the timeout. I think this is a good policy. I'm very happy with the community. And I think it's very easy for a community, especially if it grows a bit, to go off the freaking deep end. And we've been getting a lot of viewers on YouTube, a lot of on Twitch. So if the banning or the timeout, if you're getting timed out or banned, it's not because anyone hates you, it's just because it's like a signal. It's like, hey, this is not the tone or whatever that is the intention. So it's not really a warning. It's just because before I had trouble on Twitch, when I started streaming at the very start, where people kind of knew the rules and they were kind of going in between, you know, they're finding loops in the Twitch rules that I had or the philosophy that I had with banning. And they made the experience for myself a lot worse, because then you kind of have to police stuff. So now when I feel that something is off, or one of my moderators feels that something is off, you're out. And you'll get timed out first. If it's not that bad, then it's a warning. It's like, hey, this is not cool, or this is annoying, or sometimes you don't do it on purpose, sometimes you do if you're trolling. And that's it. And I understand that some people might be frustrated by that because they prefer having a more alive, balanced discussion, or they find the trolley questions funny. But I don't enjoy streaming if it's the chat is very trolly or like that. I like having some seriousness. Lumbo wants the co-cast. Yeah, the chat moves too fast. I can't see it. I get him in 1 second. So if you're getting banned, I'm sorry about that, but you'll get online again. And if you are banned permanently, just send me an email and I'll unban you. Unless you've been an idiot, then you're not getting banned. Sometimes I am a little harsh as well with the banning. All right, what's up, Lumbo?
Hello.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I saw that you just got a hype train just by ignoring me, because then people want to tell you.
Oh yeah, but
that
I don't. I can't get Twitch notifications to work on my my Together chat basically.
it's all good. But you have a Together chat?
Yeah, on my phone. But I'm not sure if that's allowed.
You're using you have only one monitor.
Yeah. I have a second one. I'm gonna set it up for when we're casting the Katowice together. Because last time, I'm not sure if you remember this, but at some point I forgot to switch the scene.
I don't remember it either.
It was during 2Rex as well. And by the time the stream caught up, the game was over.
I mean, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Alright. What do we have over here? What do you think of that first game build? I think that's a really sick build. Classic's been playing it, I've been playing it, herO's been playing it.
I didn't see it. I just got here.
It's the +1 Zealot charge attack. I think I'm the one that introduced
Pressure
the
or
+1 into it.
You think they copied you, the Koreans?
No, they didn't copy my build. They probably didn't understand how it works. Like, how does he hit this fast with such good eco? So they made it worse by adding more gateways, but I think they added the +1 in. He's going triple forge. Oh no, he's been hit in the head.
What is this? Oh my god. This is gonna be sick if REYNOR does nothing. Well, actually nothing. For a long time. Because even if he hits before 2/2/2, hero's gonna have no units.
Yeah. Does he even have money to start the upgrades?
No. I think he's freestyling. He just generally freestyles a lot. And now, especially since those two are in the same Katowice group, he's just taking it to a whole new level.
This is an epic build. You think he's gonna play Colossus with this?
I hope not.
That would
I think it will be I think it will be worse. Colossus don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, there's no way he can afford that. He needs to play Twilight, and then Immortal.
It has to be Immortal Archon, right?
Immortal. Yeah. But good luck getting Archons out if you want to start 2/2 at any point. No.
Yeah.
You think it will be fine? I mean, I guess if you get 6 gas now. He's also not taking his gases very fast, though. Never seen this before.
REYNOR is making a lot of links. I mean, this is a good start for him already, because REYNOR can't do anything. His lair is so late, he won't ever scout it. Like, this is an insanely late lair, so he's never gonna see it. Is he going Immortal Zealot?
Yeah. I think this makes sense.
I think you should go Archons eventually. I don't think you should do this into a timing attack. You should just
No.
wait
No,
until
but he's
the
playing defensive Archon, Immortal Zealot.
Yeah, I think he needs a Twilight.
Templar,
guess
yeah, but he
eventually.
needs to get it after he gets 2/2/2. No, can he afford
Sure,
even a
sure.
single Archon before?
I don't know, but he won't spend the gas on anything else, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh my, no, herO, what are you doing?
I looked on purpose. Now he scouts the 3/3/3. It's a minute before any overseer would have arrived here. And he lost probes. Oracles had to be activated.
Oh my god.
This was a game losing mistake.
Okay, what's the... Imagine you're Reynor. What's the head telling you?
I would attack him. I'd probably just Roach. Maybe even just Roach Ravager max. You know, 66 rounds go.
Yeah,
Probably
but
what I
at this
would've done.
point,
Bring the
imagine...
queens.
Could he still go for like a 70... Could he have gone for like a 76, 75
I think.
Ravagerling Bane or no? Yeah, right?
Yeah, Roachling, then you bring the queens. I mean, the
Yeah.
Icon count is just not existent, right?
Yeah. There's no
How's
sentries.
he gonna hold it?
Or, well, there's going to be... Well, he could have, but there's not. Hey, if he actually gets the 2/2/2, that army is pretty scary. And especially the Prism is going to be pretty scary.
Yeah, but he should never attack. I think he should just take a fort base and play macro from there.
Ooh, herO?
He is hero, so he will attack. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, of
attacking
course. No,
is-
no.
Complete loss.
I more mean like that if Reynor ever tries to move out. No, I think the worst thing that it would make legit no sense to attack with 2/2/2 upgrades.
Yeah,
That would be the worst thing he could possibly do. But
but he will do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do this, but
yeah, I think so too. Reynor's floating a lot of cash. I don't think he's quite sure what to do. You think he's gonna go for ultras straight?
no. Oh my god, he's right. No way, you're not going Broodlords against this, please don't.
No, this would. I think Broodlords would be the worst call.
Yeah, the worst out of all. No, I guess Ultras would be even worse.
Would it be worse though? I think Brutes are the worst. This is nice because this is a weird situation and we get to see people respond to it in real time.
Well, Rainer's not responding at all. He's just playing Norma.
A lack of a response is also a response, Lambo.
Yes, I guess that is true. I mean, if you play longer against us, I would assume you need Lurkers to even just be safe against a maxed out army eventually. Especially if you had Storm.
Imagine this army with Storm. 2/2/2 with Storm. And now the run by should be happening on hero's side. Like there should be Zealots running around. There should be a Prism heading into the natural or the main. Like it's absolutely key. And it's difficult to deal with if they have 2/2/2 and you're fighting with +2 links. No Adrenal yet.
There's an Immortal in the run by.
What?
There's an Immortal in the top army.
Ah, yeah. Very nice.
It looked like he was gonna send it to run by, but I guess he just has his army split.
Is it
One
good
Zealot
Prism?
drop.
Here comes the Oracle. herO decides to move towards the middle of the map. I'm not entirely sure about that move. I think the Prism should be active. I don't quite see where it is. Is it in the main base or what's...
Isn't that? Oh no, he forgot about it. He was just chilling there.
I guess he doesn't want to warp into the links, which is somewhat understandable. Archon count is pretty decent. This is a 2/2/2 army against, well, just +2 on the links and just +1 here on the Ravager Roach.
He keeps up doing the Prism back. Like 3 times.
Yeah,
The
that
way
wasn't
herO
great.
micros his units, if you watch his stream, he F2s back and then he selects the Prism, then he Alt presses the Prism. And then right after, so you saw him do it the first time, and then
He
he
does it
F2'd it back again, yeah.
Yeah. That's a classic. There's a lot of Ravagers in this army. I don't think they're so good, but if he can push through, it might be good enough. Zealot Warp in here would be huge, as there's no Banelings available. Bile's not really connecting. 2 Zealot Runbys being sent in at the same time. As there are no Banelings defensively, I think Reynor needs to go back or all in. I think he'll go back, right?
Yeah, you have to go back here. Guys, there's no way you push when the Zealots are on your side.
He's gonna move in with a
This-
lot
this-
of Banes.
If herO was actually microing his Zealots, this game already would be over.
I
But
think
herO
hero's good, no?
I think so too. But the amount of times he just lost the Zealots for no reason to the Banelings at the front is 2, which
Why-
is too high.
Why does Reynor go in there with the Banes, though? That
I
seems
don't
silly,
know.
no?
Yeah, that was also terrible.
I wouldn't mind having seen like a Baneling run by towards the 3rd or something, as there's no Storm, Oracle count isn't very high. could have maybe gone around and then sent the rest of the Banes back home. But this is it's a wild game. REYNOR still just sticking with Ling Bane. Ravager now going into Viper, which honestly could work because herO is not getting Storm. This entire game plan falls apart against Storm though.
It does, yeah. But it's the best thing he can do, I think, at this point. I think it's better than getting up Brute Lords.
Oh,
herO also didn't probe up at all, so if he manages to trade somewhat evenly, which is what he's doing so far, he's gonna be okay.
I think 76 on 4 base is okay, isn't it?
He had 68 until like 1 minute ago.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, he also didn't start 3-3, and he didn't start Storm, so if he just messes Banelings, I think he is gonna be okay, because he's +3 melee already.
That's true. herO needs to be very careful here moving on creep. If herO gets to like 200 supply of Immortal Archon, and this is the army, I still think that's fine.
Yeah, it's still...
I mean...
I'm not entirely sure he can go on creep, because there's gonna be an insane amount of Banelings and a big remax. Like, by the time he is maxed, REYNOR is gonna be maxed with like 80 Banelings and have money in the bank.
Yeah. That's true. Still a lot of Ravagers in the army as well, though, and these guys are not great.
That's true.
Couple of Roaches, too. High drone count. Like, if they actually max out, and that first fight is partially off-creep, REYNOR's in a lot of trouble. And I think herO can probably force an off-creep fight at this point. On the bottom side, if he's just a little patient. He's actually, like, his movement so far has been quite good. Like here, he's being quite patient. Needs to be careful here not to commit too much. I would not attack into this angle right now.
Yeah, I think this is not good. Even a Blinding Cloud derping the Immortals forward. The Banelings getting huge value here by just tanking for the rest of the units. And I think herO is gonna get wiped here, no? Maybe not entirely. This was definitely not good enough, is what I'm alluding to. Is that doesn't really matter. Even if he barely wins the fight, it would not be good enough because he just got outmined.
Yeah. Does not have a 5th base. This was a very all-in push, and he went just a bit too quick there. Should have been moving either Zealots or Stalkers forward to try and clear some creep, have run-bys ready on the sides. Makes it so much harder to defend with Baneling. Like, both Banelings and Ravagers are not really great against run-bys of Zealots, especially well-upgraded Zealots. And there's no spines anywhere, right, for REYNOR? No. Feels like the era of the Zealot ended a bit too early here when it comes to run-bys.
Yeah, I think that game plan was just a bit off from herO.
Yeah. Man. This was close, though. It really was close. It's not looking close now, but it's almost worked. What do you think of that?
If you played it better, yeah. Yeah, if you played it better, I think at some point I thought he was in a good position if he plays it correctly. But the Zealots have no business even being in the main army, like, at all. I think 0 Zealots should be in the main army. They should just be running by with their high upgrades.
I think a couple should be behind the main army, not in front.
Oh, that's the warping, right?
Especially when the Ravager count, like at some point the Ravager count was like 10 or 11, and you had that one fight at the forward base. If there were 6 Zealots with that army or something, I think you wipe these Ravagers.
Right. I mean, if you have Zealots, you want to use them in the main army, they need to be hidden at the back. But I mean, that's, I think, the warping. I think the warping is the Zealots that come in from the back, and the initial Zealots are run by.
Majority. I like having a couple at least. I think it's just in case. It also it gives the Banelings. It feels like the Banelings are looking for them for a lot of the time in that case. You know, they're kind of trying to, to go for the Zealots, and it feels like the Banelings are just running around for no real reason then for a while, which is nice. I always enjoy that.
I'm surprised he didn't even start +3 because he could have had it in the end. Just the attack upgrade.
Yeah, I think he saw a lot of creep, felt like he couldn't take a 5th, and then didn't really see a future. Like that type of stuff is always quite frustrating, where you're not sure how much longer the game is gonna last, or how much longer you believe the game should last for. I think he optimized for the wrong timing a little bit. Yeah, not the biggest fan of how that was played out. That's for sure.
So yeah, I think if he wants to do a timing attack, or if he wants to play Immortal Archon, he should just start with 1 forge and then add a second, if he wants even a 3rd. But he can take his 4th base way sooner, he can make way more probes, and then he also has way more army. Even if he has like 2-1-1 instead of 2-2-2. I think this triple forge doesn't entirely make a lot of sense, because he had to cut workers so much in order to feel safe. And I'm fairly certain he was not safe at all. because he just had no units.
I
for the
think when you
first 8
play
minutes.
this, you shouldn't even pretend to be safe, you know?
Yeah.
If you're doing something risky, own the risk. I think is really
Yeah, I
important.
agree.
And I like owning the risk, Lambo. I have no problem. I would have played this with a no scout as well.
Yeah.
No scout, double forge, 2 units, 1 adept, 1 zealot in the wall.
Stalker first, actually.
Stalker first. No. Adept into Stalker. Adept into Stalker. Still pretend like you have presence on the map. Then the Stalker. Clear the Overlord on the high ground. Fast Nexus off of a single gate. 3 forges. That would be sick.
It's... I've had a 5.9k player playing this against me as well. Triple forge.
herO practicing on Europe.
Probably, yeah. I think he had Russian letters in his name. So he's so smart that he even puts that. So no one will ever...
Yeah, no one will suspect.
No one will ever see coming.
Like, it's another bad Russian Protoss build. I hate to see it. Pulls it out in the tournament. Alright, you're gonna need to carry here for a sec. I'm gonna go to the restroom.
Okay. So yeah, I have no clue what happened in the first game, but I'm sure his build must have been a little bit tighter than in the last one. herO going for the scout early on. On Solaris, you can actually block the Zerg natural without having to commit your probe way too early, so you don't lose as many minerals, and you can still block. Even against 15 headshots, fine. You might not get the block, but it's honestly not a bad position. REYNOR didn't opt to go for the 15 hedge, so I think herO's pretty happy with what he got so far, and he's just playing standard. Like, this is, I think, the most standard opener. You pylon scout on this map. You then go for Adept, Stargate. He actually didn't chrono boost the gateway, so he's going for a maximum chronos on the Nexus. And he's gonna shade out, possibly even fake shade out, yeah. So REYNOR for now doesn't know if this Adept is inside herO's base or not. So if he tries to run by the Zerglings, herO might get a Ling or 2. That's why they do this. And he's just playing Oracle. Overall, this is really as standard as an early game gets on Solaris. The only deviation that could have happened is if REYNOR went for a 15 edge and could have gotten his natural down, but one way or another, you will end up in a very similar scenario. He's actually going to get this Overlord. Pretty sure he's going to just rally the first Oracle there. So he's not going for direct damage on REYNOR's side of the map, instead he's opting to go for maximum economy for himself with the extra chrono boost, and then he's going to send over the Oracle there, taking a really third base. Just the usual, really. I heard something in the background of Harstem, so I'm not sure if he just...
Yeah, I'm drinking.
Yeah.
I unmuted myself to speak, and I was like, let me take a sip of water. My bad, guys. All right. Nothing happened, right?
Nothing happened. He got the block off.
Oh,
He went no chrono on gateway units. And yeah, the rest was standard.
ooh, there's nothing here.
Oh, that was good focus fire.
Yeah, that was real neat. But in the end,
Good reaction as well from REYNOR.
yeah. I think this is okay for both legs, even, right? Long pool of mining, couple of links, 2 drones, so well, doable. Third base not in danger. I feel like that's one of his main issues. If you give up the adepts too early, is that your third base is in a weak spot because your warp gate isn't done yet and the Nexus has low HP. But that's not the case here at all. So I don't think REYNOR can deal any serious counter pressure. I actually think that these fights I actually kind of like as a toss usually. Like losing an adept for like 7-8 links, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care so much.
Yeah, that was good for herO as well, the defense. He didn't pay attention though to his Oracle. It could have been even better. I think he's going for a blink call in this game, right? Yeah.
Is it an
Well,
all-in?
yeah, it's 5 gates already. I'm not sure if it's an all-in.
He sometimes just does this.
But like this means he has less units at first, especially if this is a macro version.
Yeah, I think a lot of the +1 blink all-ins that the high-level boys do, they're very often with big amounts of gateways all at once, like with no early game pressure basically, and then some type of optimization for like 7 minutes or something.
I actually think you cannot take the space against hero style. Unless you go Giga early +1 and you get like a surround early on. Because if the Protoss expands towards the Zerg, you can just kite back and you're in battery range of the Nexus of the overcharge.
Yeah.
So I think you can never take fights. I think this base is a complete nonsense. If you see there's no gases at the Protoss third, I think you just cannot take this. But we'll see if he can manage to defend it somehow. He is only on 3 gas, so he's countering the hero style properly. And nothing really went wrong so far for REYNOR, so if he manages to hold it, it would be like this. But yeah, I think I still question the choice, because you don't... The extra gas doesn't give you anything against the hero style. And the location of the base is just very exposed.
Yeah. Lots of links out on the map. Here comes the surround, as you were mentioning. Lots of energy being used in stasis wards. I feel like these days it's often a bait, because it's so obvious there's going to be stasis wards. I feel like you're just wasting a lot of energy most of the time. I think it's nice having one, but... Oh, actually, this one's gonna... No, never mind. That was a Ling in a stasis ward, not a stasis. Decent damage here out of the oracles as the Stalker count continues to grow. +1 has finished up. We're waiting for that fort base to start over on the bottom side. herO indeed doing what you were mentioning. And that is taking that bottom base and then just kiting back to it. Well, he hasn't taken that bottom base. Is it a gate?
He had to put a gate there, yeah. He's doing the all-in that I said at first.
Ah. This is a good build as well.
I mean, he can just take a Nexus now and he's ahead. He kills the base, there's no fort base. It's impossible to keep up with the Zergling production.
Yeah.
So REYNOR is forced into Roaches, and Roaches are not good against this. Because he can't spend his money otherwise. You do not take this base. Now, if I was coaching him for Katowice, this would still happen, because I would tell him, take this one on purpose so he thinks you're bad for Katowice, and then you own him in the other games.
When it matters. Alright. Still no fort base for herO. He's getting a second forge though. So wants to go into well, the herO style.
Did
Low
he block
gas.
the base with the gateway?
High upgrades. Sorry, what do you say?
Do you think he blocked the base with the gateway? Okay, no.
No. herO is a genius. He doesn't do that. I think some of the mineral patches are going to be seriously blocked though.
Yeah.
It does not look like a nice gateway. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen it on the minimap, but minimap wise, it doesn't look very pretty. Battery in the natural hive on the way.
I would be happy if I was REYNOR that he is not continuously pushing. Because he could keep trading the entire time, and I think all the trades would be good for herO.
Yeah, I think so too. Because herO here felt like he's dealt decent damage and wants to relax until charge finishes up. But yeah, it feels like a bit of a mistake. You want to have an army, of course, to defend your third base, make sure no Baneling run-bys or big Ling attacks are happening there, but the main Stalker army, I mean, fighting against the Roach Ling continuously is nice. Just making sure that the creep doesn't push out further forward. Less creep, the easier it becomes for these Zealot run-bys later on to start dealing serious damage as well. Of course.
Yeah, I think even the third base is in a very exposed location. If you have a fort base there, the distance is so short from the warpins and the distance that you need to kite back to.
True.
So I would like to see herO continuously attack. He's getting shields actually after +2, which I think is kind of cool.
Ooh, REYNOR setting up a surround here. That seems ambitious. Gonna get a couple of Stalkers. 4 Oracles though. Lings fighting, Ravagers are being killed, and so are Stalkers. Zealot's not quite in this fight. Zealot's actually ignoring the fight and now going in towards the natural REYNOR. Ooh, walking into a couple of Banes here. These Banes are absolutely key. I think herO's in a really good spot, no?
Yeah, I think he was already. And I think this surround looked really good for REYNOR, especially because herO was just not microing his Stalkers at all, because he was focused on the Oracle micro, which I think has less positive returns than actually microing his Stalkers. He was clicking down the Ravagers one by one, which is also good, but I think saving the Stalkers would have been even better. But yeah, I think just you cannot lose your fort base. Yeah. If you don't have a backup fort against herO style, you just run out of larva, you're forced to build Roaches, and Roaches are just not good against this. Like, having a high Roach count doesn't do anything for you in this. They have low DPS. They're not good against Stalkers or Zealots. Okay, double Zealots were bad. Again. But I think herO's far enough ahead that he can maybe break through here now that all the Banelings have been cleared up.
Yeah. Might be capable of
maybe
doing
not.
that. There's almost no links either anymore. Stalker's not all firing, but the roaches are so freaking weak. These guys have no upgrades either, I'm pretty sure. Does he even have +1 range? No, just +2 melee. So 0-0 roaches against 2-1 stalkers. Not gonna be great. Love to see a zealot run by hitting the fort base right now at the same time. Even if it's just 4 or 5 zealots, I think that would be a very big view here. Adrenal Glenn's finishing up soon, but the link count is not what it once used to be, as the oracles are still hanging behind as well. Control on these stalkers is good, or at least good enough. 5th base on the left side should have no business going up either. I really think that this tunnel vision focus on this fort here, I mean, it probably is going to work because herO just has a lot of crap and he has decent enough eco, but I think it's also a mistake.
Yeah, what else is a mistake is that he didn't never clear these 3 creepers that were in the front here. They're actually helping REYNOR out quite a bit. He's transitioning to disruptors, which I don't really get, but yeah, just the supply being even is really good for herO with 0 banelings on the map.
Yeah.
And there's no catch for REYNOR. He just doesn't have the Zergling numbers. If he had if his supply was actually more Zergling heavy, I would believe that he can do something. As long as he triggers the stasis wards properly, but with this roach count, I think it's going to be very difficult. There's so many stasis here, actually.
Yeah.
It's so annoying to push into.
I feel like if that stasis wasn't there, maybe if you get like a Ling run by on the other side, it's, you know, I almost feel like he could maybe get some of herO's units off of his back. That could be big, but now Link's being stuck in there. Purification Nova's actually hitting Link's forward. I guess there are no links, but it's still an interesting play here. Where's the reinforcements? I'm not sure where they are. herO actually kind of throwing that out of the window a little bit there, no?
Yeah, that blink forward was white. His War Prism died, so that's why the reinforcements are very late. War Prism died to Corrosive Bites earlier on. Now he's starting a Colossus. He also didn't continue his upgrades. I think he just thought the game was over, to be honest.
Yeah, well, we all agreed with him.
Yeah, I mean, but you still gotta play it properly. He thought it was more over than we did. I did not think he can just blink forward. Like, he could continuously do what he was doing, and I think the game was over, but the blink forward with the Stalkers is not it.
REYNOR
Like,
now
Stalkers have a higher range, so they fire anyways.
Yeah.
It's the Zerg units that usually struggle with attacking all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just looking at this. There's a lot of Ravagers, a lot of Roaches, which are actually quite useful at the moment, at the breaking Zealots at least. And Banelings being added in as well. I think REYNOR should not be attacking into this. I could be wrong about that. I love the run by here on the top side. It's getting a lot of damage done. At the same time, it's actually just breaking this as well. Wow. I hadn't expected that. Thought there was going to be more here for some reason. herO just threw this out of the window. Absolutely.
Yep. The gateway is still here. Blocking the mining. This was a massive throw, right? Is it?
Yeah. This was close to unlosable, I think.
We can see it in 144p on the Heroes Camp that he face pumped as well.
2 frames a minute. Yeah, he looks really upset right now.
So I think this wasn't even I don't understand why he didn't attack the third base, because his normal reinforcement path is way faster and then he can put the prism on the other side. So I think that's a legit very big mistake, because he was constantly also fighting in the speed zone, which helps Zerg, obviously. Then on top of it, he sent all the Zealots without microing twice into Banelings, which didn't help. And just in, like, the blink forward was just, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that blink forward I'm not a huge fan of.
Also, I think if in the big fight, the first big fight in the center for REYNOR, I think if he puts the Oracles, instead of trying to micro the Oracles and focus firing down Ravagers, if he goes towards the Stalkers, and he micros the Stalkers, and he has the Oracles at the Stalkers, I think it's a disaster for REYNOR. So I think a couple of things that could have been done better maybe there from the Protoss side.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely a couple of things could have done better. Yeah. REYNOR giving his opponent a big opportunity, taking the middle fourth, and then it was a little bit unfortunate as well, of course. herO was committing pretty hard to it, with the proxy gate and everything. Feels like herO was getting the better end of these first 6 minutes every single time, though.
It was not close though, right? I feel like if he had a Nexus instead of the Gateway there, he still would have lost the fourth base. Like, I think that base is just terrible. So I'm happy because it showed that the base is not holdable, and at the same time, REYNOR still won. So that makes me double happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't understand why there were no Zealot attacks at all at the third during the entire attack. The only attempted run-by went through over the ramp. Like, he tried moving some Zealots over the ramp, but the entire point of Zealot attacks is that they can't be anticipated. Because there's no creep. Like, he actually did a good... I don't mind that movement. You said, you much prefer having the straight reinforcements coming from the fort base and then to the main push and then Prism on the left. I don't mind reinforcing with a Prism and then having Zealot. I love that type of move where you clear creep somewhere, move towards the left side, towards a different base, and then Zealots coming in at some point. I think that's a cool move as well. I don't mind it too much. It's just, he never did any multitasking at all, which is kind of what this style does. No?
Yes. Also, the Zerg army trades significantly worse if it's split against Zealots. Zealots in the main army just are not that...
Yeah, what's he gonna use to deal with the Zealots? Like, he's gonna send over 30 links? You can't. You're gonna send over Ling Bane? Like, that's the only option you have. But then you need, like, you need to have these Banes there already. They need to be ready. If they start floating in one by one, the Zealots are pre-spread.
I don't think we need to read it too much into it, like, especially after that blink. I'm fairly certain he just thought the game was over.
Yeah.
And he just wanted to end it as fast as possible.
Sloppy. Where's Sloppy?
He started Warp Gate, then canceled it, then started it again. And now he's making a Twilight. So this already will be a little different. The +1 build in game 1, is that like just Oracle into a +1 charge lot and you run them across?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be 4 gate or what?
You can do it with 4, 6, or 8. Yeah.
And why not with 5 or 7?
Doesn't work.
Because you like round numbers or what?
Yeah, I like even numbers, yeah. All numbers are for losers. Actually, with some builds, 5 is better, I noticed. But most of the time, 4 is best. If you're trying to hit really tight, 4 is best.
I have always wondered this because Terrans always go 3, 5, and 8 barracks. Never anything in between.
Gumiho does.
I feel like
Gumiho gets.
I feel like yeah.
Or
For some builds in between has to be more efficient. You know, it's like
yeah. It makes no sense. Yeah. Stuck in our in our standards, in our traditions. Okay, what's this? This is 4-gate glaive.
this is wild after he didn't get the block. I think Glaives is very weak against 15 edge usually.
But
Because you can go 2 gas and
fake
wall.
warp gate. No? Fake late warp gate. This was, right?
He started the warp gate and cancelled it and immediately started again. I'm fairly certain REYNOR saw the restart on the gate and on the warp gate if he was looking. But yeah, it's
405
fake slightly late. I think it's early enough since the warp since the warp gate is late.
Yep. I think so too. This seems fine. Hasn't spotted the prism move out, has he? No.
He is not. But the Roche one is in the wall, so absolute worst case.
4.
He can wall.
What are we at? 430. It's not a bad timing here for semi-fake. 7? Okay, well, not a huge fan of only having 7. Are there adepts somewhere else shading in, or is this it?
Is this it?
Okay. Well, good luck. Gonna finish it.
That's crazy.
That was a really wild finish, and this warping also was pretty sick. It's gonna lose the prism, but trades extremely well against the Lynx here. Roach is not out quite yet. Chase the drone, shade to the 3rd.
This already is a lot of damage dealt to REYNOR's economy. He was underprepared. I think if he just made links, he would have been fine. Because that shade it was just 7 adepts and they were not perfectly tucked in. But now he's losing a lot of mining time. He lost 3 workers. I think this is a good scenario for herO. The thing is, he didn't take a 3rd base behind it. He's going for an immortal follow-up.
Oh, gonna trade out against some queens. See if he can get anything done. Loses 2 adepts probably here. No, he's gonna keep the second adept alive for now. Used a lot of transfuses to try and defend. This should not be a finish on the Shade.
No, no way.
Thank the Lord. So the follow-up is just going to be a straight up... Oh my god.
He never has something in the wall. Actually, never. That's a huge pickup for Reynor. I think Reynor was in big trouble here.
Yeah.
Because his Drunkon is still terrible. Okay, now he's getting in. He actually blocked the Evo Chamber block with a Adept in time, so that was nice for herO. Who's now gonna get a bunch of drones. The drones stopped running! A lot of drones dying there. Man, if herO actually focused for it a little better, could have been even more. He's now recalling. Saving a lot of workers here. Without that Immortal dying, I think Reynor is legit just dead. And now it's still bad, I think. It's still bad. Because he will need to make more units in order to defend. And he's already behind in workers.
There's a
So
new
if herO
prism already.
expands...
I didn't even
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, imagine there was 2 Immortals now with a Prism, Adepts. Would have been hard. Row away behind this as well. Third base going down. Do we have a unit in the wall? Yes, we do. That's great.
That's rare.
It shouldn't
actually
be
his-
so scary.
It's his biggest weakness, actually. I'm not even joking. His biggest weakness in PvZ is that he always doesn't have units in the wall. Because he moves with F2. Which
Yeah.
is, for me, not understandable at all. Why would you need F2? You can hotkey the units as you warp them in, no?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand either.
Okay, so yeah, Reynor is messing units rather than workers. And he has to, because otherwise he would just die. But now he's just even economy with herO. So if nothing happens, if herO doesn't commit in, herO will be ahead. If he commits in, and he just takes a good fight, should also be good for him, honestly, because there's only 1 Ravager and he has 4
Is it
sentries.
finished now? No. I don't see how many roaches are being split up. There's quite a few roaches. A couple of good force fields here. Decent enough splits. A couple of adepts did get hit by Bile to get another big shade in forward. I don't think any
There's a
roaches are
finish.
being split off yet. Does he finish?
Yeah, this is a finish. This is a finish.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a lot of
Now
damage
you
so
go.
quick, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's rough. Now the Immortal drop should go behind the 3rd base. Oh, he just works in Stalkers and goes with it. Oh my god, all these drones. Oh, this is over.
Yeah. herO winning 3-1, except it's gonna be 2-2.
Which is nice for Reynor, for
Yeah.
all Reynor fans, and for all fans of good StarCraft, because we'll get another game of the series.
Like this movement here with these adepts. Now could try and sneak in towards the natural, perhaps with movement. He's gonna finish this, isn't he? Oh, no, he's not. Purification Nova doesn't hit a whole lot. Reynor has a very good split. We're gonna get a shade towards the main. herO is playing this very well. He's very patient here. He's not too over-eager. Using the disruptors for what they're best at. That is shooting a shot every now and again and then moving away from creep. He's gonna try that once more. The Immortal's also helping out. 1 more Purification Nova available. Link count is extremely bad right now, as these adepts probably are gonna finish their shade. Coming in with a flank. 1 Immortal just shooting at a hatchery is not great, but I mean, this shouldn't really matter. GG gets called indeed. As herO wins game number 4. Ties up the series 2-2. Lambo. We're going all the way.
We're going all the way. herO playing different build every game, the way we know him. And yeah, which makes predicting anything for the last game very difficult. Because I really doubt he plays any of that stuff again that he showed so far. I am very surprised that Shade finished and worked. I think it has to have to do with Reynor saving larva for roaches. Because if you spend all your larva on Zerglings, you can hold the first Shade of a proper timing with the drone count that he had. Like of a proper 8 adept Shade in, 10 seconds earlier, you can hold that with Lynx only. Especially if they're not tucked in. Even if they're tucked in, you can hold it. If you're on top of them, as they Shade in. So he must have been saving larva, and that's why that actually worked. But I'm not gonna lie, I would have never expected Protoss to Shade in there. Never. It's so scary. If there's 20 more Lynx spawning, herO just loses the game right there. Because
It's
he lost the
instantly
Warp
over.
Prism as well.
Yeah. Final map is going to be Side Delta, Lambo. You know what Side Delta is a really good map for?
The hero style? Or is it the charge with pressure? I don't know. I don't know what side that.
I think
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's good on. It just feels nice. I feel like I've been overusing it on that map though. It's so powerful, man. You walk
Why
in
would
with
it be good
zealots.
on that map?
Hmm?
Why would it be good on that map specifically?
I always win. I'm a percentage man. I stopped reasoning.
I like that. That's how Snood used to be. I try to argue with him about which maps are good for Zerg and which maps are bad for Zerg. And then I ask him his reasoning, and it's because he tells me, because I check the win rates.
yeah.
And I'm like, all right, great.
Yeah, because sometimes I don't entirely know what features make this map good, but my zealots work very well here. I think maybe because the counter attack is difficult for the Zerg, and the zealots are almost always good. Just the counter attack, maybe I don't know. I don't know why it is. My zealots just work well. I'm happy with my zealots here. Me and my zealots, we have a good time.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Blind confidence can work wonders in StarCraft.
Yeah, it really can. But now I need to, I need a second build for this map. It feels so hard sometimes when you have a build that you really like on a map, but you know you can't keep doing it, you can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels awful. Because I really like it. I love my zealots.
If you go for this build sometimes and the other times you just play Blink build, that should be good for you. Because you don't want +1 melee against a charge build, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but, it still
The
feels
zealots.
bad. I want to tell the zealots.
Okay.
Here's what it is. Alright. This was a fast hatch, wasn't it? 15 hatch?
15 edge against no scout, so slight advantage to herO, but herO didn't scout, so REYNOR delayed the gas for a very long time. He's gonna have very late speed, and herO cannot punish that because he doesn't know. By the lack of speed, he doesn't know about it.
Now, imagine that herO would have scouted Lambo. For the people at home, how would you punish it?
I don't want to say. In case there's actual pro gamers watching.
Good point.
Why did he cancel that warp gate? He had 200 gas. What?
She's tricking his opponent, Lambo. Don't worry about it.
Into believing there's a Stargate and then building a Stargate?
Would you believe
That is
it,
the
though?
dumbest trick. That is the dumbest trick. Yeah, I would believe it, but that means the trick didn't work.
Yeah. You're working at a different level here. REYNOR might just be confused, because he remembers that warp gate being cancelled and then rebuild instantly last game. No, come on, don't do this. Thank you, good sir. Thank you. Having a pilot
you're
is
ahead of
very
me.
important.
What time are you?
Oh, 2:55, 2:56, 57.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. First time you're not 10 seconds behind the live broadcast.
You'll love to see it. He's gonna get no drones here. He's gonna kill a Ling. Might even... Is he gonna lose
Blue
this?
set up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
100%.
Oh
he
my
says.
god.
Lambo just died. Lambo's dead.
Why was the queen not there? REYNOR was sleeping. What the hell? You have a queen in the natural.
100%. Oh no,
Oh my
Lambo,
God.
that is embarrassing.
That's
You put
embarrassing.
all your money on that? That is crazy.
I would have put money on that adapting.
100%. You should have put all your money on that if anyone offered you any odds whatsoever. That is insane.
I would have done it.
You've been broke.
I would have been, yeah.
Hypothetically
I don't think many people would have taken the bet though, because you have a queen at the natural and it didn't even shade past the creep, so
But actually,
It's-
everyone in my chat tells me right now that they knew that it was gonna survive.
that's okay.
They're asking who this guy is that got this 100% call wrong. Oh my god. Loses the Oracle. All the boys in the chat knew exactly what was gonna happen. They simulated it in their head.
They knew REYNOR was sleeping on a job.
Yeah, they knew REYNOR was sleeping on the job.
This
Well-
is an awful early game for herO, by the way.
kept the adept alive. Oh. Hold that thought. Oh, transfuse. Save the drone. Only cost him 50 energy. Worth it.
This still was an awful early game, I think.
Because he lost the Oracle.
He does the Oracle, yeah. And it's super late speed. Super late speed. So the losing some workers, I think, is normal. Maybe... I guess it doesn't look that bad, actually. Because he was super greedy at first. I should have factored that one in as well. I still would be fine with this if I was on the Zerg position here. He's also getting Overlords right on time. He has enough Zerglings to defend this as well. Knowing herO is going to shade in anyways and lose all of his adepts.
Or is he?
Yes. You gonna bet on this?
100%.
He's gonna lose that Oracle too.
This should be over. Oh,
That's one in charge. This is not the build, is it?
Well, this is the build, but before it hit about 45 seconds faster.
He made like 9 depths this game, and he makes 4 oracles as well. Or 5 even? How many did he lose? He lost 2 oracles, right?
Yeah,
So this is
lost
the
the
4th
Oracle. Yeah.
Yeah, this is some opportunistic moves here being made by herO, to put it nicely. Just hoping his opponent is not in position. I can't believe the amount of times he actually shades on top of Zerglings. Do you think he just didn't look at the shade?
I just think he doesn't care.
What do you mean he doesn't care?
He just doesn't care.
If you shade in 5 adepts and there's 20 Zerglings surrounding them,
Yeah.
he lost
goes
the
in.
Oracle.
I don't know. I don't know why he does it, but I mean, I believe he looks at his stuff before it dies. So he must just not care.
I mean, if he doesn't care, then why would you look at the shade? Because that's just wasted resources.
Power of habit. It's the only explanation. Looks at the shade, then decides that he doesn't care. It's like, this will die. Maybe he
can't believe
believes
that.
that the distraction is good enough. That his oracles can deal damage. So he doesn't care about the straight up adept versus ling battle, but it's like, I'm using my opponent's attention here, and then my oracles will get kills. So he doesn't trade adept for kills, he trades... Well, he does, but not directly, you know? That might be
I
it.
got that, but he should not look at the shade then.
Maybe he didn't look. I mean, that I made that part up. I hadn't thought
Yeah, I
it
know.
through yet. But we got there in the end. I think we figured it out. He's gonna get a
He just
second
doesn't
push.
look at the shades.
Is
I will
there,
remember this.
there's not a lot of drones though for REYNOR. There is a
Yeah,
prism
REYNOR
on the map.
is being very afraid because he's confused. I think he thought this was the Zealot attack, like the actually tight one.
Uh-huh.
But then it was not the Zealot attack, so I think he overmade units a little bit. Thing is, he's still up 30 supply because herO's early game was awful, and herO has lost 3 oracles. Now, if you have 4 oracles on the map, you can never attack with Roach Lingbane. Also, 4 oracles give you constant scouting information. And you can deny creep, much better than with just 1 oracle. Just for having 4 oracles, like that's the biggest deal of all of this. Even though he threw away a lot of adepts, that can be fine. Throwing away all 4 oracles now, it's not okay. It's just not okay. It's not allowed.
You're just jealous that herO can't stay safe without the oracles. He also doesn't need scouting information because he knows what his opponent does anyway. God, he just doesn't care. 2-1 upgrades
Yeah.
on the way, Blink as well. You know what I'd love to see here, Lambo?
Storm.
Yes, Storm. I don't understand it. No, none of the other top Protoss players, they rate Storm at all.
The Showtime does know it.
Yeah, true. Showtime does. But no one else. It's just me screaming in the void about Storm being good.
Classic beat SERRAL and REYNOR both at Gamers 8 with Storm as well. I don't know how he plays now because he plays random. He has his phases.
Yeah.
He plays like a different style every 2 months.
True.
Dude, if he loses this War Prism too, I'm just gonna lose it.
The lion doesn't care about the opinions of sheep. Isn't it that lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep? Because it rhymes. That's how I remember that one.
Yeah, it probably is. Don't think it's much of an opinion though. That losing your Orcus is bad.
No, I think he was talking about Storm.
No.
But I think Storm is good.
Oh, it's 100% good. Dude against Lingbane Ravager. He never looks at the zealots as well. Just like the shades.
He just doesn't care. That was not a good run by, because he lost all of his zealots and dealt no damage.
And there was nothing else happening.
No, it's
Besides creep clear.
My
Yeah,
turn.
no. I mean, you cannot expect a zealot run by to do damage if you send 12 zealots to one side with nothing else happening against a top player. Do you really expect the zealots to trade well?
Yeah, you probably don't.
Right?
Yeah. Did you see what MARU tried against SERRAL?
What did you try?
He went for a 4 mine drop, 5 minutes and 20 seconds in when nothing was happening. He lost all
What?
mines and his medevac and killed 2 drones.
And what opening was it?
That was the opener. He went triple Reaper into a 4 mine drop.
Oh.
And then SERRAL won Heartland.
I saw that Saturday one highlight, but I didn't see how it started. I was just surprised.
Yeah, that's how it started. Yeah, it's kind of like that. This is a very big timer. Do we have Vipers?
I think we do. Oh my god, don't do Ziprism. Dude, if he just gets Storm now, I think the Zerg is just dead.
Yeah.
If you get Storm with this army and you don't attack, he's dead. But now he's gonna run into the Vipers, into Blinding Clouds plus Banelings. His army is still very big, a lot of it is not attacking though. The 4 Colossus are just derping around. Right, this was a bad fight for herO already.
104 links on the way. He might have a little bit of time though. He still could just go back and get more Robo units. And then Storm. And Templar.
Yeah.
Because the army sucks massively for a REYNOR. herO could still be winning as well though. There's no Banes at all. Like there's just 0. No energy on the Vipers either. herO 171 supply. Love to see a little bit of a run by either towards the very bottom side. I don't think we have any Spines again. REYNOR deciding to go into Brute Lords here rather than Lurkers every single time. 26 Banes coming in. If these Banes finish, that would be big. Where's the Vipers? Oh, that flank is huge. Holy crap. This is it now. That's a winning move for REYNOR.
Yeah, this should be a winning move for REYNOR. I think herO's army is just not that good against mass Banelings. He's getting into a Concave. Good abduct on the War Prism. Cancels the Warp, and it's just not enough cannon fodder in front of all of these Robo units. The Robo units start falling. A lot of money in the bank still for herO, so if he could have saved maybe both Colossus, it could have been still okay. Instead, only manages to save 1. Now tries to reinforce with Stalkers. I don't think REYNOR can kill him here by any means, but that was a very good fight for REYNOR.
Yeah. Well done. 3-2 starting as well. Greater Spire coming up. Feels like Brood Lord is a wild call as well. This map is pretty split up in the bases usually. Like pretty far away from each other. So if he actually gets Brood Lords out, that feels difficult. herO now getting Storm, which I think is a good call. Don't forget, all of these Ravagers and Roaches don't have any upgrades at all. So although the Zergling upgrades are great, if herO just manages to stabilize for a little bit longer, gets his Storm out, which allows him to deal with the Ling Bane, like the rest of the army is hot garbage.
Yeah, but surviving here is, I think, impossible because the only AoE he has is 1 Colossus. He has a couple of High Templars ready to Storm, but Storm is not done. I don't even think they have enough energy to Storm yet. Gets 1 feedback on the Viper, and this is a pretty good fight from herO. I think he managed this about as well as he could have, besides not picking up the Colossus, but it's a slow warp in. Oh no! herO, this was not the pylon to warp in. The warp in at least gets cancelled, so all the Stalkers don't die here, but this was just a series of awful engagements for herO that were honestly just unnecessary. He had better upgrades than his opponent, was even in economy. Now the Zealots come in from behind. They will get all the Ravagers because Ravagers by themselves are not good enough, but the damage has been dealt, I believe.
Yeah, 25 workers is an issue. 3-2 though, on the way. REYNOR rebuilding 10 Roaches. Like, it's bad for REYNOR, but...
Wait, what? For herO, you mean?
Yeah, sorry, it's bad for herO, but... A good point. Flip the names there. If herO survives, gets his Storm, REYNOR stays on high Roach, Ling Bane. If you get 160 supply of 3-2 units, I think it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, if he does do that, then yes, but I think it should be impossible for him to get that up. REYNOR is basically outmining him, basically 3-1 at this point, or 2.5-1. So by the time herO gets that supply, once again, we're at a REYNOR army with a million banelings, probably broodlords at that point and a bank. And if REYNOR just attacks now, it should always be a good engagement. There's also the Prism died with a High Templars inside, right?
No, sure. Those zealots, I think.
Oh, Zealots inside. Okay.
Yeah, there was one or two zealots still. He was dropping them, but not fast enough. Run away. He's moving the zealots towards the side. I mean, there's banelings here. It's getting, honestly, an okay-looking engagement. If he had any amount of zealots left over, this engagement would have been even better. The problem just being is that REYNOR has infinite units and infinite money, and herO doesn't. And that means that this series is now over. Oh no, we're gonna get a ZVZ. God.
I genuinely think if you give this position to REYNOR's off race, I think REYNOR's off race beats REYNOR's main race there.
I think so too.
I think in 2 of the 3 games that herO lost 100%, and I think even the Oceanborn game was just... He was just lacking worker production there, and then he attacked. And I don't think you were supposed to attack there.
Oceanborn we can discuss. The other 2, this game I think he was in a really, really good spot. Not a huge fan of how REYNOR is playing, by the way.
Yeah, but you don't know if that's his actual style or if it's just
he's hiding.
Katowice pretending. Yeah.
What's the chance that REYNOR is gonna play the other thing, the Protoss boys?
I think very low because unless it's Ratu set maybe. But he's been practicing a lot of Zerg right now, so I think it's good to take this as a ZVZ practice, which is basically impossible to get by.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not practicing since I'm not playing Katowice. Elazer is not practicing because he's a laser. And he's probably not practicing with SERRAL because they're each other's rivals.
SERRAL and Elazer. Or SERRAL and REYNOR.
SERRAL and REYNOR, obviously.
That's a rivalry I hadn't heard of yet. Oh! We hit 2K viewers during the last one on YouTube.
Oh, that's sick.
Huge. 500 on Twitch. Love to see it. Oh my god, wait, I forgot to do all these shoutouts. Okay. We have Karyotic with a tier 1 subscription. Speed Ghost gifting a tier 1 sub to Potato Musab. Booyah donating 100 bits saying Lambo wants the co-cast. Blue Hair Critic saying let's get this train out of the station. Trombiolo with a bit. Velociraptor with a community gift sub to Lambo. I had 2 actually. One to a random person, name doesn't show up, and one to Lambo. Then we had a hype train, and that is it. And then Christer Maiden sent 65 Swedish kroner saying Sweden hype. Very cool. I do love Sweden too. Lambo?
Yeah.
Out of the Scandinavian countries, does Sweden make your top 3?
Wait, is Iceland a Scandinavian country as well?
No, I think they sometimes count Denmark with it. I'm not sure if I don't think Iceland, is it?
I mean, I know Denmark. It's Sweden, Denmark, Norway, right?
Finland? No.
I said Sweden, Denmark, Norway.
Yeah, but Finland is as well there, no?
I don't think Finland theoretically counts as Scandinavia.
Iceland apparently counts, so does Finland.
If both of them count, then no.
Finland is Nordic, some people are saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's
But
Scandinavia.
Google tells me, the Britannica.com tells me that Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Finland is 2. Is Denmark even a country? Yeah, it is. I've been there.
What? After my definition of Scandinavia or the way I know it, it makes the top 3. If Finland and Iceland is there, it's not top 3.
You've been to Iceland, or just the thought of Iceland is better than what you've experienced in Sweden?
I've been there a couple of times as like when I'm on my way to America, basically.
Dude, that is the worst airport in the world, though.
Reykjavik?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the airport at all.
I hate the.
But
They sell
Sweden, everything is expensive.
So Iceland too. They sell individual pizza slices for $18 on Reykjavik Airport. One slice.
Why? All right, but that's airport, right?
Okay, I've never had it in my life. Any 18 euros for a slice? I looked at that and I thought they were trolling me. I remember they sold
Zurich
yogurt.
Airport.
You know, these tiny yogurt bowls with a little bit of the crunchy... Is it called muesli? Muesli? You know what I mean?
Yeah, muesli. Yeah, I know.
That stuff, they put that in. It was like $9.25. And it was like, I think it was 100 milliliters of yogurt. Or maybe 150. And it had like the fruits in the bottom, you know, and the plastic spoon. I was like, ah, come on, guys. I sat there for 4 hours looking at the prices. I couldn't believe it.
Why do you book a flight with 4 hours in Reykjavik? That's on you.
I don't know. It was the cheapest flight. Sorry, Mr. Money. Lambo hasn't had a transfer in the past 5 years of his life. If I see a price difference of $600, I take the 4-hour layover, all right?
I think their airline doesn't exist anymore. They're very
Wizz.
cheap
It
one.
was Wizz, right? Wizz Air?
Wow, I
Wow,
think,
Wow Air.
so.
Yeah. Wow Air.
But they have do you know what skyr is? Skyr?
Yeah. It's is the yogurty stuff, no?
It's a yogurty stuff with super high protein, and I think that's from Iceland, so they
Yeah.
automatically raise in ranks because that shit tastes like normal yogurt and has like 12 grams of protein per 100 grams.
Yeah.
It's actually insane.
That's pretty expensive. I noticed. It's also the only thing that they always advertise everywhere. It's like skyr from Iceland. I remember
Really?
there were TVs in that airport playing the skyr commercial. That's why I remembered. Because it's the only bragging rights they have. They also have good natural stuff though. Don't they have like the geysers and other
They
things?
do. But I mean here, I eat that here.
Oh, you eat
it's not that
skyr
expensive.
in oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah, you can just
I
buy
think
it
I've
in a
seen it in
normal
the shop,
supermarket.
but it looks pricey. It's a big A brand, I think. It's not for me. Skyr. Spirit Airlines. I don't think I went with Spirit Airlines. I think it was Wo Air. You're right, Lambo, not Spirit. Skyr is a gigantic scam. It's just yogurt with less water. That's why it has less protein. Yeah, but if he likes it, then it's not a scam, is it?
Wait, why would that be a scam then?
It's with less water, so it makes sense that it's more expensive because it's water makes.
It's not expensive here. I'm pretty sure this one, the one I'm getting here, is like the normal retail brand in Germany.
So it's the opposite
make
of a
their own.
scam. No, they provide more value. How's that a scam?
I just want more protein for less.
Yeah.
You know.
And if they put in more water, that would be the scam. You could say that yogurt is a scam.
Yeah.
They water down the
I don't get
product.
that at all.
This makes no sense. So it's more pure yogurt. You can't believe they scam you. God, you're such an idiot. You bought into it. It's sold two or three times the price in most of Europe. Yeah, I thought it was expensive too. Like much more expensive than regular yogurt in my mind. We're waiting for SERRAL REYNOR, by the way. We're not just talking about yogurt because we enjoy it. It's because we have to.
I am actually, because I think I'm gonna eat lunch soon.
Oh, okay. Well,
But I like talking about yogurt, so that's why I was staying.
Yeah. Very nice. Oh no. They're selling all the water they removed for a mega profit. Marketing genius. Oh no.
Here, yeah, let's see how expensive it is here.
It's like €3 for 1 kilo. That is okay pricey. It's pricey, but not insanely bad.
What yogurt do you eat? Just because yogurt, I feel like it's also not that cheaper than this.
Yeah, yogurt is way cheaper than that. I don't eat yogurt, but I know it's cheaper than that. I eat the quark, and that's kind of expensive too. It's like the very young cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see how much yogurt is.
Yeah, I eat that too. But I realized recently that this has same protein than quark.
I like Greek yogurt. That is very delicious. Okay, so
Yeah.
1 liter of whole yogurt is 125. And it's creamy whole yogurt that I'm finding here.
Creamy whole yogurt. Okay, but brand yogurt is
That-
also more expensive, right?
That's true. Yeah. Okay, 125. Also for what do you call that? Like the half full yogurt. What's that called in English? Skim yogurt. Is that what they call that? That's what they do with milk. No, it's called skim milk. I think the one with a little fat.
Yeah.
So like skim yogurt is like it's a 125 as well for a liter. So that's like half the price. But I
The
also-
yogurt I like is also super expensive. I don't just like the plain yogurt usually. I mean, I just eat the skyr now with the blue. I put like some fruits in it. And it
Yeah,
tastes really
yeah.
good.
Now, even the brand yogurt is 180 here per liter. So it's a jump in price for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, but I'm talking about, I like the small yogurts where they have something on the side, you know, that you put in.
Yeah, like the fruits and the nuts. Not the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or chocolate, the small chocolate stuff.
Yeah.
And these are fucking expensive. Like way more expensive.
Yeah, but you could just do that yourself, though. You know,
I know.
that's work. These, yeah. Yeah, because that's what they were selling at that airport. I think it was $9.25 what it was, and I remember looking at that, and I was so hungry as well. But I powered through it. I was like, I'm not gonna. I remember looking at that pizza slice as well. It also looked awful. You had to grab the pizza slice and put it in a box.
I had this experience in Zurich airport once. That I just bought the cheapest thing I could find after walking through the entire airport because I was there for quite a bit, and it was like a sandwich for 13 euros. And I felt really bad just because of the price.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that bad, the sandwich, but it was just...
Nah, it doesn't matter. The price has ruined it. I once was at an American airport where I had just a cheeseburger for $15. I can't recall what airport it was. And I think I got no, I don't even think I got fries with it. And no drink. Because it was like $5 for it. But it was dollars as well, so it's cheaper. The dollars always mess with my head. It's freaking 15 for a cheeseburger. I was so hungry. I'd skip breakfast and it was like 2 p.m. It was a terrible call. I thought I'd eat something at the airport. Unbelievable.
And you say Sweden is expensive? Yeah, Sweden's still expensive. I'm sure airport in Sweden is maybe not quite as expensive, but still pretty expensive, right?
Yeah. Although I believe that all the Swedish people that live near the border all the Norwegian people that live near the border go to Sweden to get their crap.
I mean, of course, Norway's way
Norway's
worse.
crazy. Yeah. Whenever we'd go drink beer with Targa, he would always tip with every single beer because he couldn't believe how cheap it was. We were in Spain at this was like the hotel bar, and Targa would come in, and the guy behind the bar would get really excited. It was, you remember the hotel that had the fake grass near the pool?
Yeah, I know exactly which one.
Yeah, and it was like the older gentleman in that bar that worked there. Do you remember him?
I don't.
Okay. They had a terrible menu, but whenever Targa would walk in, the guy, even a year later, would recognize him because Targa would go in and every beer would be €2 and Targa would pay 4. He's double the price every time. He's like, man, this is still half the price what it is in Norway. This guy looked so excited whenever Targa came in.
Probably significantly less. In Sweden, when I was at the club, one shot was, I think, 12 euros or 10.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One shot, and one beer is the same, or even more.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Actually,
Okay, I'm gonna go eat lunch.
Okay, yeah, enjoy your meal.
Once the yogurt is over. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Does the Finnish government put big taxes on the beers? Well, that's Norway. I'm pretty sure it's taxed, but they also make a lot. They got oil in Norway, don't they? They're all millionaires. Infinite cash. Katowice, one beer is like €1 or 120. I can't remember. I remember that cocktails there were really cheap as well. I guess everything is just more cheap. So we went to this place, like this cocktail place in Katowice, which is kind of on like the main street. It's like where there's kind of something happening. Like almost feels like a city center. And we had like this little bar. The thing is, when you're with big groups, it kind of sucks going into busy places because not everyone can fit there very often. We're still waiting, by the way. Like, I'm not just talking because I like talking about these. Well, I do like talking about these things, but my neighbor started hitting stuff. Give me a second. I'll mute him. What was I gonna say? Right, and then the cocktails there were like $2.50 or something. And the guy would take like 20 minutes to make one cocktail because I think he was new. Okay. My little program that I usually use didn't quite work out. Not sure what happened there, but let's just hope he doesn't start drilling all of a sudden. Noise suppression, so good we can't hear him. Yeah, I know when I'm back. I don't know why it wasn't working. It made no sense. I also didn't hear myself. Maybe that's something to do with me. Probably. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait. I forgot to click this. That would have been embarrassing. We're in here. You're listening to yourself? Yeah, of course. So I can make sure that nothing weird happens. Like if there's like a crackle in the cable or something, or these things you want to hear. You want to hear how you sound. So I have a monitor that goes to my the hardware that does all of my sound, and then that hardware goes to my PC. So I hear myself instantly, basically. Yeah. Like an in-ear system bands use to practice? Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's probably less complicated what I have than what bands have. That stuff is like wireless as well, no? I was impressed by the wireless technology. You know, I'm not easy to impress, but how well the wireless crap is working these days, I'm very okay with that. Because you guys, most of you will remember, right? Is that Bluetooth kind of got phased out because it sucked, no? This was the technology in, I want to say, like the mid-2000s. And people were wearing these Bluetooth headsets, but they just sucked. You know, it was crackly noise often. It just didn't work very well. How did they improve all of a sudden? Everyone, their sister now uses Bluetooth. I think that's what's being used as well for the... Is that being used for the wireless receivers on mice and stuff? Like everyone's using them AirPods. Although, when you get to like train stations, where there are a lot of people with the Bluetooth stuff, sometimes it starts failing. Wait, is Lambo back? Hello?
Hello.
What happened?
There has been some miscommunication in terms of when the food is done. So
Sad news for your stomach. Good news for the viewers at home.
yep.
Lovely to see. Alright, because I was kind of clueless as to what was going on, but with you here I feel safe. SERRAL with a triple hatch, REYNOR with 15 hatch, I think it was, right?
Yeah, if he's playing 2 base, it was probably 15 hatch, but I didn't see. What time are you, so we can sync up?
3:36, 37.
Okay,
30.
okay, yeah, we're good. Perfect.
So he's gonna go carapace because this is very safe against basically everything, right?
Yeah, so the reasoning behind carapace is if you're playing against 2 base, in order to hold a potential link flat or hold your third base against a link flat, you need to make links initially. These links are useful in case of a link flag, obviously, because that way you can defend your own third base. But if it isn't, you can deny your opponent's third base for a while, and also force units at home against a roach, speed pressure, or all-in. And then against those all-ins, having the carapace helps because the Zerglings will tank more than 2 shots. So the Zerglings are way better. Like whenever a Zergling tanks 3 shots instead of 2, it just matters so much against these type of roach builds.
Okay.
And in this case, I think he even wants to maybe go for a Ravager Bane, Ravager Ling all in. Maybe he's making so many Zerglings, it's actually crazy. I think this is a very bad call for SERRAL, because REYNOR is just making roaches of 44 drones.
What is the Oh, REYNOR realized that something's happening. I guess he saw it on the minimap here, and is full walling with an Evo chamber. Seems like a fast full wall, no?
Yes, but the way he set up his wall, he could not have walled any other way. So he was forced to do this.
Okay.
So SERRAL is engaging here. The +1 missile is gonna finish, and once that is finished, I don't think he can do anything, because his carapace is not done yet. REYNOR cancels 2 of the Evos. This is an awful spot for for SERRAL. Once +2 missile is done, I think REYNOR can move across the map and kill him.
There's no way that's gonna happen though. SERRAL's just gonna commit, no?
Yeah, but I think that should never work. He is gonna Ravager Lingolan, 100%. But as long as REYNOR doesn't make extra workers, this should not work, theoretically. Now, if he gets a huge surround and the roaches are not all together, it might still work.
Oh,
my God,
roaches
REYNOR
might
is
not be
still
together.
walled in.
Is it a problem that there's this many in the natural or no?
Yeah, it definitely is a problem. As SERRAL is going in now, those roaches are tucked in, so that's good corrosive by the targets there. He gets a full surround as well on the roaches. This was right before roach speed was done. So SERRAL actually is surprising me because I thought there was no way this was ever gonna work, but now that REYNOR was walled in for a little bit too long, the roaches were not all together. He catches first half of REYNOR's units at the third base, stuck against the minerals, and now he catches the rest as well. REYNOR forced to tap out with a GG.
But you said it completely correct. Because you said if he gets a surround, he can win. And he got the surround and then he won.
Yeah, but honestly, I thought he was going to lose even if he gets this round, if I'm being entirely honest.
It's not what you said though. So you
I
lied
know.
to us and then you were right because you lied. It's kind of messed up.
Kind of messed up.
Kind of messed up.
You're definitely not supposed to beat 44 drone pure roach production with this. But REYNOR just had a bad setup.
Is there anything you would like to ask SERRAL about that game?
Not really, no. It was pretty straightforward. He just took a gamble and that worked.
Okay, nice. What is the main downside, by the way, of the Carapace build? Is just the fact that you're down a range upgrade if it's standard play, or?
It's 4 workers less early on. Because you need the Carapace relatively early, so that's the Evo that you need to build. So that's it's more like 5. And then it's 150 minerals for the... So 3 drones just for the upgrade cost. Then 2 drones that are dead for the Evo. And that adds up that early on into the game. So that's a downside. But it's the safest thing usually you can do.
And economy-wise, it looks... You're still looking better than the 2-base player, or no?
Not initially. If you do the Evo, even if you don't do the Evo, you're going to be behind in entrance for a little bit.
Okay.
Against 15 Hatch. But you will be ahead later, yes. So at the moment you make 50 drones, obviously, because the other guy's on 2 base. He can't mine with that many. I actually theorized that it should be the best to make a line with the roaches against this. But I feel like I didn't actually try it yet. The last time I died against this, I was like, okay, next time I'm not going to be too lazy, I'll actually put a line. Like in a proper line. So then the corrosive bites can't hit that many roaches at a time, and the lynx will take a while to surround everything.
And you can even touch one of the buildings.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, have you ever played tower defense? Like the ones like where you have the maze in it?
No, I didn't.
Ah, okay. In Warcraft 3, you had these tower defenses where making the maze was... I'm not sure how a lot of tower defense these days, when you see them on like phone games, it's just building towers in positions and then upgrading them, right? And then knowing which towers work well together. Back in the day, we had to make mazes with the towers. It is a different... It's like... the one that I used to play was called Winter Mall, I think. And you'd have to make mazes and then they walk through. That's kind of what would happen because you make a wall. The thing is, if you completely walled it off, back in the day, there would be like an anti-blocker unit coming by and he would destroy your towers. So it was very important that your maze was correct. Because if it wasn't correct, there was this... have you ever seen Elf?
No.
It's a really ugly looking alien with a large snout. It looks a bit like a...
Oh, I do know.
Like a juiced up anteater, basically.
Yeah. I do know him.
Yeah. A guy looking a little bit like that, a mix between Alf and a kobold would come and he'd destroy your tower, the one that was blocking. And sometimes, because the AI in Warcraft was a little buggy, he wouldn't know which tower was blocking and he would just destroy 6 towers in a row. He just lost the game. So it's really important you didn't mess it up. Yeah.
So you try to create the longest path possible, basically.
Yeah, longest path possible. And then with the most important towers in the spot where they would have to walk by for the longest amount of time. And then sometimes you'd have a really nice maze. And then it would be an air level. And if you rely too much on the maze, the air units just flew over your maze. It's like, right. But there were guys that were very serious about it, the Winter Mall. And you had Winter Mall Wars where you could send units to each other. It was fun games, man. Look at Warcraft 3 custom maps.
Well, they're playing 2 base against 2 base in this game. And I'm very hyped to see this, not because it's something something exciting, but because SERRAL actually went for normal 16 hatch, I believe, and REYNOR went 15 hatch.
Ah, and your
Oh, yeah.
theory is that the 15 hatch is much better economically when going into two base, right?
It's better slightly, I think.
Okay.
Not much. I'll actually go back to double check. Yeah, it's 16 hatch against 15.
What benchmarks are we looking at in that case?
Well, we're gonna look like in 2 minutes from now.
Okay.
I will keep a look at the mineral count and the supply count. And then other than that, we're just gonna, yeah. We'll have to wait for it to develop.
Okay, cool. So REYNOR with the double overlord. Ooh, SERRAL with the quick lair. Is that standard? That fast of a lair?
Yes, it's not even quick. I think they both went for 4 queens.
Okay. Is REYNOR with
Quick.
the carapace upgrade first?
If you play 2 base, it is actually very common to go for the lair right after the first queen and the main base spawns.
Okay.
So this is considered a late lair for 2 base.
So that would be what?
Downwards.
240 you get a lair?
Yeah, something like that.
And what's the point of that? Just getting fast road speed or a potential spire?
Road speed, spire, overseer, yeah.
Gotcha. If you have these two setups going against each other, one with the +1 range and one with the carapace, you prefer the range position, right? In 2 base versus 2 base?
Yes. But I mean, REYNOR is gonna do the all-in, so it's gonna be all about. They're basically just it's the exact same as last game, but reversed.
Opposite, yeah.
I mean, I think if you have road speed, you can micro against this property. We'll see if SERRAL actually abuses the line. I think another good way of doing it is having the roaches somewhat together but split up. In a way where it's basically just important you don't get all of your roaches run and the corrosive bite hits.
So you mean like
for very high
clusters of
value.
2 or something? Or what
Yeah,
do you mean?
clusters of 2, and then also like I would put 2 roaches in the mineral line, you know, so they're blocked, but you don't really want to use the corrosive bile on that. Also, links will start bugging there, so links will start attacking that. Like that can be very useful, and just abusing stuff like that.
You saw this is a fake spire, a fake lair, right? He
Yeah.
started it once the overseer went in. You think SERRAL bought it? No way.
No, he's just making units.
Ooh, that's a nice move here, holding this ramp.
That is a very nice move. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't get surrounded from the back, as it happens if the Ravagers arrive. REYNOR needs to make sure to cancel the lair, by the way.
Yeah, because otherwise he has less Ravagers, right? Yeah, okay. He gets the
Yes.
cancel. That means 1 extra Ravager there. So, ooh, SERRAL's already droning up. Is that too early here?
That is too early. He thinks it's not coming anymore. I was about to say REYNOR's attack is too late because the road speed is done. But at the same time, it actually works. Okay, he's gonna see the lack of lair now. He knows exactly what's up. He's making roaches. We'll see if he tries to defend a 3rd base or not.
Do
I
you
think
get a
he's gonna-
spine in this case, or it's not necessary?
No, it won't finish in time. He's actually getting Ravagers himself. That's what I wanted to see if he thinks the Ravagers are worth it. I think they are, because SERRAL had a lot of gas floating. And I think you want to hold in a concave and then kite somewhat a little bit. Okay, yeah, just don't have everything clamped up.
Okay, here we go. SERRAL kind of aggressive there with the movement forward, pushing away these Ling Ravager from the left side. REYNOR trying to set up that surround that we were talking about. Link's not in the fight yet. I think SERRAL has an escape path here. Can move a little bit. Does get surrounded from the back as a couple of biles start hitting. A lot of his roaches are somewhat free though. Roach count still fairly high as well. More Link streaming in. This looks like an okay defense so far, no?
Yeah, this was a good defense. He basically did the line idea that I said. By holding concave, he was a little bit too bunched up, but REYNOR never got the roaches behind towards the mineral line of SERRAL, so SERRAL could kite a little bit there. And that was good enough. And this is full all-in, so the game is now basically impossible for REYNOR. I think he's just going to go again.
+2 is
At
the
the mo-
end. Is the end,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Complete end. Complete end to this.
Because at that point, the roaches will start 2-shotting links.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's over. Point of the carapace attack ends there. As this Overlord's gonna survive. SERRAL with loads of capacity anyway, so even if we were to lose that, not the end of the world. Has played very careful, has played very safe, making sure that nothing can ever enter his natural. Went back in with the Overseer multiple times. Now throws down a Changeling, perhaps to see if any drones are being produced. Here comes REYNOR for potentially the final time here in this game. Tries to go in towards the natural and actually gets into the main. That could cost SERRAL perhaps the third base. No, SERRAL splits off perfectly. Some drones going down, 5-6 workers. 22 more links on the way, as well as a lair. There's no way that dies.
No, I really doubt it. I think actually REYNOR needs to get out with his road champion because he doesn't have roach speed.
Ooh. A good point. More links coming in. Gonna go towards the natural here. Could get a couple more drones. SERRAL's gonna lose up to 10 right now. Meanwhile, REYNOR is stacking up. He's getting his own drones. And pretending to keep the pressure on. Needs to be careful, as you mentioned. No roach speed versus roach speed. That means he's gonna get caught here. Here comes the attack with the links. Surrounding a couple of Ravagers up top. Which SERRAL is gonna lose. But he still has that +2 timing. And that is a very important timing. Is there any way in which REYNOR can hold this? No, right?
Nope. Sad to disappoint, but I think the answer to that is no. He has no roach speed and his units are super exposed. I think he made the best of the situation with the Ling run by. There's no way if he doesn't do anything that SERRAL would still do this attack and he would still just kill him. And now at least he tried to make it hectic, he tried to force mistakes, but SERRAL... He defended without losing too many workers, he killed all the Lings, cleaned it up and now just moved across the map and killed him. And SERRAL is looking very solid lately in ZVZ. I know he lost against Solar in Gamers 8 and I think once after as well. Yeah, Home Story Cup or something. But ever since, he's been destroying the ZVZs without even really losing maps.
True. And let's not forget that REYNOR 3-0 Dark. And now SERRAL is up 2-0 against REYNOR.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
So that means he's 5-0 against Dark right now. Big mess.
No, actually, every map counts as a factor. So he's up 6-0 against Dark.
Okay, I see.
The next win's going to be 9-0. Yeah. Didn't follow the proper StarCraft II mathematical transposing rules. Hate to see it. I have a theory, by the way, Lambo. That it might not be the camera of the players, but it might be the connection to the Zoom program. Because REYNOR also looks like he's made of 2 pixels currently.
That's true. I don't think they use Zoom for this. I think they use Google Meet.
I wouldn't know. It's been a while since I played at the highest level.
You play WTL.
They use Zoom there, no?
Yeah, but that was just because they wanted all of us there. I mean, I think they use what they usually use in WTL, which is the Google Meet.
Alright.
They use the Zoom so they can have 5 people in the call.
That's...
Their big view of what they want to have happen is that we're all in a call and we're talking together about our strategy. But the only thing they got was the Sci-Store manager talking to himself about strategies instead of the players. Which it would be really stupid by us to talk about who we pick and why.
Yeah.
In a public Zoom call, so yeah.
Are you two casting IAM remotely? Yeah. Lambo and I will be casting the C stream of Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. And I heard that the C stream will get all the best matches this time.
Yeah.
That might just be a rumor. Do you remember last time that we were in a Discord channel and there were 4 streams? 3 streams. 3 streams, B, C, and D. Or maybe there even was E, I can't remember. And every time we would snatch all the good games away from the others. We just sit in the Discord, wait for the next round to be announced. And then the question always would be, who wants this? And I would already be ready with my answer. Snatching every game I wanted. Freaking TVT left over for the boys on the D stream.
Statfest casting TVTs all day. I think at the end, at the very last series of it, he actually started asking, can we maybe have this one before it happened, you know?
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, you can have it. It wasn't even that good of a series.
Yeah,
but
we were very greedy. Lovely.
And we will be this way again. So yeah, if you don't want to miss any of the good games, you gotta make sure to watch the C stream. Because we don't only have the best games, but also the best casting.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Big words. Other casters, they're always humble. Like, everyone brings different qualities. Our quality is that we're the best.
Yeah, keeping it real. Giving it the best in everything.
The best all around.
If they think they're better casters than us, they can try to 1v1 us. See who wins.
That's how casting works.
Yeah.
Can't beat us in a one-on-one, you're worse. Too bad.
Worst
God,
person.
We're doomed
around.
once SERRAL starts his casting career.
That's why I keep throwing against him to make sure he.
Another win for you, buddy. Don't worry.
Yeah. Just stay away from the casting couch, alright?
Alright. Both players 3-basing this time. REYNOR giving up on the 2-base shenanigans. What are the options here, aggressively speaking? I've heard of 27 drone Ling attacks. That's not going to happen, right? Because you skip Baneling nest with that?
Well,
Or
the
is that
link
not
pressure
good?
usually is 25 drones.
Ooh.
If you skip the big nest, because you really want to get it cancelled in the third base. With this, I would say if any one of them is going to pressure, it's going to be like 29 drones and only like 2 banings on the other side. I think they respect each other enough to realize that if you go for a pressure, the other guy, especially on a map with a third base this close, will just be able to defend it and have more drones than you. So I think both of them are going to play this passive. This is a very standard map. It's a long map and it is a map that is easy to wall as well. So no, it's just not a good map for aggression.
And then specifically talking about Ling Bane aggression, right? Like the first 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, Roach aggression too. Roach Valence are not that good on this because the rush
Okay.
distance is relatively big and you have to run up this ramp.
Yeah. We saw that in Dark. Was it Dark versus REYNOR, right? You watched that together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them playing super safe. It's quite funny that we started going for this early Roach Warren. And thus actually skipping the Baning the Evolution Chamber. So basically playing like Elaser used to. Well, not quite. He would push it even further than us. Like we still get the Evolution Chamber just right after. And
Yeah,
then we
the
very
order
often
has
get
been
these Bane
reversed.
Roaches.
Why is that?
It's because there's a build, even if you have a Bane nest at the front, if you get a Roach Horn in the back, if you don't get a Ling in, you just die if you have a late Roach Horn. You're always behind against it. It's the build that I made in Katowice 2018 or 17 for SERRAL. But I think SERRAL was all-inning me himself, so he had Roaches in time. So it's the worst debut of a good build that I've had so far. But the build has... Yeah, it has stuck around. I think Solar used it as well to beat SERRAL at Gamers 8, for example. I mean, we've seen it a lot in general. And now everybody just gets a couple of blind roaches, sometimes even, and in general just an early roach horn.
What just got cancelled there? Was that a spine?
Yeah, I think SERRAL thought this was more committed than it actually was. So REYNOR's a little bit ahead in this game.
Alright. But nothing game-changing, nothing game-breaking.
Yeah.
Well, Plyle starting here for SERRAL. The Roach speed. As we have Pneumatized Carapace as well. The Overlord speed. Ooh, 2 Banes in the main. And REYNOR seems, well, currently blissfully unaware.
He's not watching. Oh! Good. That was decent last second split. 5 drones is still quite a bit. So good double baning there for SERRAL. Now also going for the double drop. This is a very normal follow-up. He did not scout the Spire yet. And I'm not sure where he's morphing the Overseer. Does he have... Is there an Overseer?
At
on the
home.
other
It
side
was
of
at
the
home.
map,
It
right?
was next to the drop.
Okay.
No, oh, it was just 2 drops. Wait, so where's the
Yeah.
Ovi?
He at least suspects that there might be a Spire because he's getting a Hydra, then you would not do that otherwise. But yeah, he has no idea. I was about to say his Overseer is very late because his lair finished a long time ago. He cancelled and starts the second Evo. This is a rough call. He's now gonna scout it with the Overseer, which the guy is missing, the Observer.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
So now he restarts the Hydra then. So a little bit of panic there from SERRAL. Overall, if you just play Roach Muta, it's not the absolute worst of the Hydra, and it's not quite on time because you don't get that many Mutas anyways. The Queens should be able to defend it. It's more important to have all your Overlords at home so you don't lose a ton of Overlords, and just in general having a couple of sports ready is very nice.
What's the chance that these Baneling drops will deal damage?
Pretty high. It's one Baneling drop, one Roach drop, or is it double Baneling drop? Yeah. So the Roach drop is gonna be annoying, but it's gonna die to the Mutas. And the Baneling drop is also gonna die. This all buys time as well. It even gets a couple of drones. I think Sarah is gonna be fine with that. 3 drones. I do not think he should go in with a Roach drop until the Mutas are on his side of the map.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. 10 more drones out of REYNOR. Going up to 84. That's a very high drone count, no?
There's a very high drone count, yes. Especially this base that he took is very easy to get a concave on. So I'm a little bit afraid that SERRAL just attacks with Roach Hydra, which he usually doesn't do that much. But if he does attack with Roach Hydra, once his upgrades are done, I'm a little bit afraid about this. REYNOR needs to make sure that he starts to fight on the other side of the map, that he doesn't let SERRAL get a concave on top of his fort base, because by then he not only has a worse army supply, so a worse army just by pure numbers, but also he still has 5 Mutas, which are useless in the fight, so that's 10, even 10 less supply. So it would be as if he has 94 drones.
Quick question from the chat. Is it not better to cancel Mutas if the opponent scouts it?
No, Mutas are very nice to have, even just a couple, in most scenarios, because it forces the Overlords away from the map. So you need to pre-split your army, you just lose map control, you lose map vision, and that's very uncomfortable to play.
This type of drops, they massive timer on them as well. Sending it out,
Yeah.
massive risk. SERRAL got 4 kills here with this drop. Scouts that the infestation pit of his opponent is similarly timed to his own. As REYNOR now gonna push up this ramp. That seems like a pretty wild move. I'm not so sure if he can actually fight here. SERRAL's attempting a surround. At the same time, there are roaches hitting his fort. SERRAL should have enough stuff, right? And if he just gets the correct split, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he actually missplit at first, but I mean, it was not too bad. This will most certainly go into a late game if SERRAL wants it to. I really would be very surprised if REYNOR manages to break him somehow, because this map is not easy to attack him to. But yeah, this is the strength of the Muta. Like the missplit that SERRAL had. At first he didn't have enough on the left, so REYNOR took a good initial engagement, and he split too many units towards the left. And now once again, you saw how many units were at the top right? It's just because of the Mutas. Because there's no anti-air of REYNOR. If he just sees where all the Roach Ravagers, he would never do these mistakes. So these Mutas pay for themselves in these engagements, in these missplits.
That was a nice little fight though there in the end for SERRAL, huh?
Yeah, it was okay.
Got some big hits in. No tunneling claws quite yet, which is one of the favorite upgrades of our Finnish Zerg. He's heading in towards the late game. Down a little bit in bank. REYNOR manages to run by some roaches, are gonna get caught. These Mutas still floating around. Feels like REYNOR has complete map control here. He's taking the gold base as well, which is a wild move. The moment you lose map control, that base is instantly gone the moment SERRAL sees it.
You just lost all the Mutas for 1 Obelisk here. Which at this point the Mutas are not that good anymore, but he doesn't have Hydras yet. Oh, he's trying to burrow on top of the roaches. SERRAL sees it a little bit too late, so some of the roaches are caught. SERRAL oversplit towards the top right-hand side of the map, and REYNOR is pouncing. This was a great fight for REYNOR. He's taking a bank lead. Usually you can see who's ahead at this point in the game by the bank lead or by the Viper count. Since there's no Vipers yet, you can just have a look at the bank. Now SERRAL's army is already a little bit better because he has some Hydras, and I think he even has a Lurker. But not by as much as the bank.
Yeah, position on top of the ramp there is good for SERRAL, as he's going to continue creating concaves defensively. While REYNOR tries to poke in with this superior Ravager count, believes he can push through here. He's gonna get a decent trade to start with. Biles forced his army away. At the same time, one base is gonna go down on REYNOR's side as well. But REYNOR has another 5th on the far left. These Ravagers will get pushed back. And SERRAL manages to scramble a defense together with that Hydra count as well. Of course, Upgrade's gonna get sniped. That is a big deal, Lambo. Especially if the +3 attack goes down. That's gonna be a significant problem here for REYNOR a little bit from now, no?
Yeah, I think REYNOR was super lucky that the space was there as a puffer. And I don't know if you can even use that word in English like that, but it basically bought him a lot of time. If that run by just ran into his natural, I think REYNOR probably loses both evos and a bunch of drones. So he got lucky that SERRAL took a long time killing that base there, and he didn't also immediately move further because he was microing at home.
Yeah.
Because that fight on SERRAL's side, even though REYNOR had more units there, was not good enough. Like, that was not even a good fight, I think. The concave just favored SERRAL by so much.
Seemed like it. The Roaches coming in once again, want to finish the job that their mate started. Because that Evo chamber isn't dead yet. Instead gonna go for Queens and Drones, while the chaos here being caused by SERRAL. As there's not enough Roaches being split off yet. Now slowly but surely making their way over there. There's still lurkers in the middle of the map as well. Can we do something with that, or is that simply too risky?
Now the lurkers are left by themselves just in case REYNOR decides to... REYNOR went with a big counterattack towards the top right. That's why SERRAL went there with his entire army. To just make sure he doesn't accidentally lose the game. Because everything that's happening right now is pretty good for him. So he's aware of this Roach counterattack. He actually split it almost perfectly. The Hydras are a little bit exposed though. So maybe REYNOR can initially kill some of the Hydras and then take a fight there.
Yes, Lurker's not burrowed quite yet for REYNOR. SERRAL gets the burrow in this key position. He's gonna lose a bunch of his Roaches though. Love to see just one Lurker on the top side here for SERRAL, who has killed 15 workers of his opponent and is eyeing that 6th base once more. Lurker on the left is cleaning out the gold on the bottom. So if that base dies, then technically SERRAL in a superior eco position, or at least has an extra base.
Yeah, he's mining from 10 gas, which is very important. Viper count is everything in these late games. And they're actually playing very lurker heavy. All these lurkers are completely exposed. SERRAL did a good job at not taking too much damage, walking towards them. I think REYNOR has just skipped Vipers. As he morphs a lot of lurkers, so I don't think he even has the gas for it. Which means he can never attack into this, ever. So he needs to counterattack while holding at home. But I don't think this counterattack is even big enough for the army that was used to clear up the top right side of the map.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of Roaches, Ravager, and a couple of Hydras sprinkled in as well. Lurker run by in towards, well, what is now the 4th base, basically, for REYNOR. Actually, quite some splash damage being dealt there on these Roaches. Lurker count still looking good for SERRAL. I'm not sure if there's any abducts available. Maybe one. Yes, takes out one of these Lurkers. What's the overall Lurker count? I think I see like 2 or 3 on the side of REYNOR, no? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, REYNOR is down 8k resources lost, I think. It's gonna be difficult, no matter what, to recover from that, and he wasn't even that far ahead in terms of mining out good Lurker shots once again. He just played without Vipers. Very often in ZVZ you will see the underdog trying to skip Vipers and get a lot of Lurkers. Because then if the other guy is out of position, you can make an upset happen. Like this is how sometimes Ratata wins. I've seen Ratata win once against SERRAL like this, so... there's some Korean Zergs also tried to beat SERRAL like that. But SERRAL is very good in these scenarios. He doesn't missplit his units usually, and he just trades better than his opponent.
Wow. 3-0.
That's I mean, that you tab out there and you see SERRAL is max and it's like 6k in the bank, and you're like, yeah. maybe not playing standard again.
That's right, another Ling Ravager. Yeah, that's wild. Because it looked good for REYNOR. You got a lot of control in the mid game with those Mutas. Had good eco, had more bases. Was in hive timing at the exact same point. And then at some point, it's always the same with SERRAL. At some point, he gets Roaches in your main or in your natural or in both at the same time, while simultaneously holding off everything you're throwing at him. It's crazy. It's actually sick. He just doesn't lose late games.
It is very difficult, I think, to understand how it feels like playing against SERRAL. In ZVZ, you have the same units as him, and you have the same army supply, but you feel like he has more units than you, because wherever you look, he's standing in a concave, and he's like perfectly split, and then all of a sudden 4 Roaches pop on your main, and 3 Roaches pop on your natural, and you're like, what the?
Where did this supply come from?
Yeah. It feels impossible, because he knows how to take fights, and he knows how to position his units, and he's just so good at splitting off his army. It's hard to compete with that. He's just better than every other Zerg at that. And if there is one Zerg that can beat him at this game, it is REYNOR. I think he's the only Zerg that I've ever seen beat SERRAL in a normal game.
Yeah, that's what he said as well last time. Were you there for that interview?
No, but I was there for a Reynor interview.
Okay, SERRAL said that because I asked him about it. It's like it feels like whenever he survives to 200 supply and he's not like insanely far behind, he just wins CVZ. And then he said, yeah, it's pretty true. The only person that I struggle with sometimes is REYNOR. But even there, I think he said he wins most of the time.
Yeah.
So I
That
thought
must
it
be
was
pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good
This is
feeling.
This is also why you can never say that SERRAL there won't be another person that is going to be the best CVZ player in the world, because we all play to gamble against him. Whenever we get into a normal game, we lose, basically.
Yeah.
Like, even if Solar beats him in a series, he's not going to be the favorite to win the next series, because he will need to think of something else to surprise him.
Yeah.
It's not going to be straight up play.
Yeah, you're looking for tricks. It's a little bit similar to how all tosses play against max packs, right? You're always just looking for things to abuse in his in his tree of choices. Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier in PvP.
Well, also SERRAL is not even close to as predictable as Max Packs, because he plays everything himself.
He plays everything as well. Yeah. It's wild. Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never really thought about the CVZ as how frustrating it must be. It's frustrating playing against SERRAL as a non-mirror, but it must be very, very frustrating. It's freaking good. What trophy is that behind SERRAL? Which one? There's like 5. I think I see 2 Home Story Cup trophies. There's like maybe a BlizzCon one in there, or like Katowice. There's a lot of big trophies, man.
There's 2 that look exactly the same. So
yeah.
He didn't win Katowice twice, so it can't be that.
Yet.
What would it be?
I don't know.
If it is the same twice,
GSL versus the World?
Could be, yeah.
He won that twice, right?
Yeah, he did win that twice.
World Championships? He didn't win BlizzCon twice, though, did he?
He won BlizzCon and IEM Katowice, when IEM Katowice was already the World Championship. So he won 2 World Championships, but it cannot be the same trophy.
That's actually a surprisingly low amount of times that he won it.
His BlizzCon trophy also looked like not like a conventional trophy.
It was like one of these weird.
It was like it was like a long one with the Terran, the Zerg, and the Protoss.
Yeah, I remember.
I think.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to describe it. Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
Reynor's webcam is getting worse by the minute.
Yeah, hasn't paid the Mafia boys for the internet connection for a while. Do you know where his grandma lives? Is it in near Florence as well? Florence?
Yeah.
Florentina?
I don't know 100%.
Okay.
I would think so, though. But I really doubt in Italy they pronounce it Florence.
Yeah, French is a superior language, so we use that. If I had to pick between Italian and French, I'd go for French.
No shot. Yeah. Italian is such a nice language. I much prefer Italian.
I don't understand a single word of Italian. Sounds too aggressive.
It's aggressive. It sounds very nice, I think. I like Italian and Spanish, probably the most out of all the languages.
I think Spanish is nice. Firenze. That's Firenze. Napolitano. Italian rap hits hard. French is ridiculous. I heard Italian rap. Don't even try.
You just heard what Reynor listened to, though, right?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's the popular stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, he listens to hip hop as well from English artists, and I don't like that as well, what he listens to. But I don't hate all English hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I don't mind some of the. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have an important game on our hands. Is this potentially the final game, Lambo? If you were a betting man, which I know you're not, but imagine you were, and you had $100 to spend, and the odds for this particular map are even, who would you put the cash on?
I mean, SERRAL obviously is 3-0. There's a purely from a mental perspective, even if they were completely even, I would always pick the guy that's up 3-0, no?
But what's the chance that he wins a 4th game in a row?
Even gambler's fallacy.
Think
It's
that's
less
be
likely now that he
astronomically
wins.
small, no?
Yeah.
4 coin flips in a row? No way. He's already won 3, bro. Are you stupid? Is that called the gambler's fallacy? I'd never heard of that.
I think that's what it's called, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. Both players here going for a fast 3 base, right?
Yes. Oh, he killed the Earth attack. That guy is so big.
Yeah.
I don't mind them killing it, honestly.
Oh, because he's big?
Yeah, it's distracting.
God, I'm glad I'm not overweight then. It's a bad time being your friend. What the hell? This guy's big. Take him out. What? Jesus, Lambo.
I can tell
Mask
you if
off,
you're,
huh?
if you're running around on a StarCraft map, you would also be gone real quick if my Zerglings are next to you. The worst is for me the Tastelop and the Artoselop because they're so fast.
There's a
sometimes
fight you
even
can
run
catch
away.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have ranged units, so.
Need to click him real fast. Alright, both players with the links across the map. Speed's finishing up for both here. So we have a defensive Baneling for REYNOR. SERRAL's gonna try to pressure a little bit.
Yeah, with a very low commitment though, so. I don't think he even expects to do anything. If anything, he hopes for a good trade. I don't think he ever thinks he's gonna get the hatch or a lot of drones. He's actually trying to sneak in the Banelings towards the natural, but REYNOR isn't born yesterday. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most common trick in these Ling Bane scenarios. But there was no pressure. Not enough pressure to force the queens away from the natural, so REYNOR didn't fall for it. And REYNOR is now basically ever so slightly ahead, which reflects in him already starting +1 missile.
Yeah, a couple more drones coming out of the Italian as well. You have a lot more links here being produced. For SERRAL.
Yeah.
SERRAL's gonna commit.
He's gonna go for a roach all-in. He's trying to mask, like he's basically trying to occupy REYNOR's attention on his side of the map and hide the fact that he's gonna make roaches at home. I thought, but now he's making drones, so I was completely wrong. Instead he's trying to actually deal a lot of damage to the Ling Bane. That was not a good start. Gets 2 Banes for 2. Is it the last Baning that's remaining? That is an issue for REYNOR.
Yeah, there's an issue indeed. This queen is in some trouble. Still 3 Banelings alive. 5 Banelings alive here. First 3 roaches pop out. Should provide enough safety here for this hatch. As a couple of drones will fall. A couple of lings will go down. But REYNOR stabilizes. SERRAL with a small worker lead. As he starts producing his own roaches. +1 significantly faster here for REYNOR. SERRAL is just not teching, is he? What?
Oh, SERRAL is just afraid of dying. I think SERRAL thought for a second this was an all-in. I mean, he has to make these roaches anyway, so he doesn't have to guess to do anything, but... Yeah, that was not good enough for SERRAL. That fight was not perfectly microed by SERRAL, and the roaches responded at the perfect time. So even though there was no Bane left over, I think the defense was more than good enough for REYNOR. And he finds himself in a decent position. He's floating money though. I think he lost his queen, so he's down an inject cycle basically. So that's why he's floating money right now a little bit. Which is saving SERRAL, because otherwise he would be behind in workers and behind in the upgrade significantly.
Gotcha. So what are the options on the table right now? Can both players go into Spire or no?
I think SERRAL likes Spire in weird games, but his layer is so insanely late that I would be surprised to see Spire from either player. I would have. Oh no, I looked at the wrong thing. But basically, I think REYNOR should have went for a 2-1 timing to close this out, because he's always going to be up 2 upgrades. I'm a little bit sad that he went for the carapace instead of +2 right away of the first evo, because he loses timing in that. And then yeah, SERRAL likes to go Spire whenever the game is weird.
And this game kind of qualifies as weird.
Yeah, there was a big pressure. Both players made a lot of units. It's a little bit messy, and then he likes to throw it on a Spire. Which I don't hate, but I think if you're behind and you go for a Spire like this, the other guy can make a Hydra then, and then hit a 2-1 timing. And it's going to be very hard to hold.
Gotcha. Did REYNOR send in an Overseer here?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna get that scout, right? Okay, I just want Mr. Observer to show me what has been
They never, I don't know what even he's looking at. Like, what? Now he sees it. I mean, it's Satisfyer, I'm pretty sure it's in
Yeah. Okay, nice. 7 Mutas on the way. So we're starting Spores as well. Baneling speed behind this.
Ooh.
Lambo, talk to me. Hello?
That's an all-in. That's an all-in. He's hoping REYNOR stays on Roach Hydra and doesn't make an Infestation Pit or a Lurker then. And if he doesn't, he can have a chance. And it's like a one punch strategy, really. You have one chance to surprise your opponent, and if he's there without any AoE, you can take a good fight and win the game. I honestly think SERRAL is up 3-0, and he's just trying to get a cheap win. Like, the Ling Bane attack was pretty cheap, and now he's going Muda into Roach Bane. It's like the stuff he sometimes dies to every once in a blue moon, so he's just trying to get a free win since he has some games to work with.
Yeah. It's very comfortable if you have 4 games just to get a single W.
Yeah. Yeah, also if you feel like your opponent is not completely on the ball, doing something aggressive can close it out really fast. But REYNOR did defend well so far. His biggest issue is that I think he's overmaking Hydras. Whenever I lose to this, I tell myself, just make 6 Hydras, not a single Hydra more. But whenever you have the Hydra then done, and you make units, you always add some Hydras, and I don't know why this is, but I do it myself as well always.
Always gotta go up to 9 or 10.
It's way more than that.
Nice.
9 is still okay.
I think right now he's like 9 though, no? Or 10? Not so many.
Yeah, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Good number. And he's gonna be largely in position as well. Like everything is pretty close by. I think REYNOR has a very good read on what's kicking off. Even as a defensive Bane, which is wild.
He has the Hydra split towards the back. Oh my god, he moved forward a little bit. That was a misclick from REYNOR. That actually cost him a lot. He's getting destroyed in the front fight. I'm not sure about hiding the Hydras at first because he's losing the Roach fight too high. Oh my god, he's gonna die. He has a Hive on the way, has a Lurker on the way, which is not helping him at all. That fight was not good enough. He needed a Concave and he needed the Hydras to fight right away. And the actual thing that killed him was he had a small misclick.
SERRAL ate him.
I think he, instead of A-moving the ground, A-moved on one of the Roaches, is what happened there, is my guess.
Okay.
His entire army moved forward once, and all the Hydras as well moved towards the Banelings instead of shooting. So, yeah.
He just ate him, Lambo.
He ate him. If he can stabilize, there is a way, because he will have a much better army, he will have much better upgrades, he will have much better tech.
What's the chance he stabilizes?
It is... I mean, this map usually is super hard to attack into. He even has one Lurker that he can borrow now. There's no detection here. He needs to kite towards the Lurker though. The Lurker can't fire, he doesn't have range. He's doing it now. As I said, there's no Overseer, so SERRAL has to go back home now. Until the Overseer is here.
You already have a Hive on the way though, on SERRAL's side, so it's not like SERRAL... I mean, you said this is a one punch and a bit of an all-in, but it feels like the all-in portion worked well enough now. Like he can now technically transition out if he wants to.
He can, yeah, but in that case he's not that far ahead anymore.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have any high-tech units. So he still needs to replace his units, you know?
Yeah. But he's been mining 8 gas for quite a while. But I guess that doesn't mean anything if your army is garbage and he has no gas bank.
Yeah, I mean he made a lot of Banelings and Ravagers, so...
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not as bad as it looked for REYNOR initially. Like that's because this is why I call it an all-in. Obviously it's not you need to kill your opponent or you die, but I would still call this an all-in. I think committed attack would have put it in better terms.
Yeah.
REYNOR actually cancelled the hive last second. I didn't see that, so he doesn't have his own hive. Which is kind of annoying for him.
Yes, sir. Does have a faster lurker then, though. So it's probably going to start Seismic Spines about the same time as his opponent. Maybe a bit earlier, even. Shell's going to try one more time, but at this point it feels like going in for the kill seems impossible, no?
It seems impossible, but because there is no vision, once again, this is just because of the meter. Look, REYNOR split his army almost half and half. And that's why SERRAL could move in there, sniper lurker, and get out. Now,
Yeah.
3 drop overlords are actually getting themselves ready. Together with the mutas, so the mutas can clear the vision if there was any, which there isn't. And then the 3 drop overlords can be very annoying. So, cool moves there from SERRAL, who's now starting his +3/+2, and he's starting his first Vipers.
It's going to get scouted, though, no? Did those drop lords get scouted?
I am not sure, but maybe SERRAL believes so, and that's why he might... Yeah, he's going for it anyways.
One. Just one. All right. So we're heading into the proper late game right now. Kicking off with a 4 roach drop in towards the main base. SERRAL just making sure there's nothing waiting there for those roaches. I don't think we have burrow or tunneling claws, right?
Yeah, it's very uncommon that you get tunneling claws after you go mutas, because there's sport crawlers everywhere.
Good point. These roaches are popping in. We'll get a couple of kills. Not the end of the world for REYNOR. Has a big enough mineral bank. Gonna see the lift off on this. The mutas will now get taken out by the spore and finished off by the hydras that are still around. Vipers being constructed for REYNOR. As it seems we're heading into a late game. And you mentioned it, is that SERRAL had no actual high-tech units. And REYNOR already had a couple. And now looking at everything, this game feels extremely even. No lurker count higher for REYNOR, I think. Vipers are there quicker for him as well. So just a good situation, perhaps even.
Yeah, I think he's slightly ahead. He has the spores also are really nice, because you can leave just a couple of lurkers with spores, and that's super safe. So it's gonna be more difficult for SERRAL to split up his units. He also invested in some spines already, so yeah, I mean, he also has had an upgrade REYNOR, that is. So I like his position. I'm not sure how many Vipers he has though. I think SERRAL started the Vipers first.
What do you even abduct here? Like a Ravager?
Yeah, blocking sounds just coming.
Yeah. That's what he's doing instead. You're right. Lurkers now showing up. It's gonna make life difficult here for REYNOR, who went for a knight. Is gonna lose all of these roaches while sniping 1 or 2 lurkers. Main base was not actually defended. And I think REYNOR was very surprised by that. Wasn't entirely ready for this. Vipers in position to probably deal with this. Blinding Clouds or abduct. It's going to be 2 abducts.
This is good for REYNOR. This was not the best micro from SERRAL, so REYNOR is getting into the initial fort base of SERRAL, I think this is. And getting good trades here. Just trying to create chaos all over the place. He also has 2 Vipers of himself, and those are full energy, so he can still use those for Blinding Clouds. He's getting severely outnumbered here, but with the Blinding Clouds, this is still a decent fight.
It's a big biles there. You saw that? Like 4 roaches died in one go. REYNOR needs to be real careful as he manages to sneak a lurker in here. SERRAL looked a little bit upset by that, sitting up in his chair for a sec. Vipers have gathered some energy. At the same time, we have another fight over here. Blinding Clouds coming in clutch. There are no lurkers aggressively or defensively at all. We just have that one random lurker still going up. Nidus Network gets thrown down, is in vision range of the Overlord. Couple of roaches there as well. REYNOR pushes in, has a supply lead, and has a lot of units. No lurkers here defensively is hurting SERRAL.
Yeah, it is hurting him 100%. And this is also the least defended base. He doesn't have any spine crawlers there. And he lost some workers in the process. He also made a lot of buildings, so both of them are on relatively low worker counts. REYNOR now going for more lurkers. I think if he was more confident, he should have made Vipers there.
Like 3 more Vipers?
Yeah, 3 more Vipers. Instead, he's gonna try to keep up the speed and try to get him out of position and win with a blow like that. I really would have much preferred more Vipers. This is what I would have done as well, because I think I'm much worse than SERRAL in this spot. But if you think you can just outtrade your opponent because you're as good as him, you just make more Vipers and you start abducting. And SERRAL's already on the back foot, so this type of stuff snowballs really quick. Instead, this is obviously also fine, as he finds himself a completely undefended base, goes forward, now tries to run by the lurkers into the lurkers of SERRAL can borrow them. We'll lose 1, 2, and a lot of damage on the rest of the lurkers, so that was bad for REYNOR. As he's now also trying to push into many lurkers. Oh, we went way too far forward there. Into the lurker spines, and those fights were really bad for REYNOR. Let's see what the lurkers can do in a natural.
Yeah, let's see indeed, Mr. Observer. I was curious too, as we're gonna pop over there. This is gonna get cleaned up momentarily if we get some decent splits here out of SERRAL. Hydra showing up, couple of roaches. Vipers move back just in case. Defensively, SERRAL still set up over here on the left side. Has lost 12 workers. At the same time, though, a counter-attack. No clue where this came from, and REYNOR also seems somewhat surprised by it, as these units appeared out of thin air magically. SERRAL finding the mental space to get these across. It's not gonna get as much done as I thought he would, though. Another Nidus network going up in the main base of the Finnish Zerg player.
Well, we don't know how much that got done because those roaches were already fighting for 30 seconds. The observer was not looking at it. When you were saying you wanted to see the fight at the natural, the roaches already were there. So I think they probably traded quite well. Yeah, REYNOR has to go. Oh, misclick there from SERRAL. That was actually a huge misclick. He lost like 30 supply there for completely free. Those were not even on A move, so those were move commanded. REYNOR now getting extra Vipers, accepting that this will be a longer late game. And finding the exposed base here in the bottom right side. SERRAL won't need this yet, but it's still a very nice pickoff for later on in the game. And I would like to see the unit counts at this point, because I want to see how many Hydras and Vipers they have each. Because I think with the Vipers that just finished, I think REYNOR's army is actually better than his opponent's. He might not have as many Lurkers and Hydras, but he has way more Vipers, so he can abduct the units one by one.
He has at least 5 right now. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I think he actually just has 5. I haven't seen any others fly around, but maybe they're gathering energy. SERRAL hasn't built any new Vipers in quite a while. I think he's on 3 total. Lurker count's going to be difficult for us to count, of course. Look at how close these trades have been, by the way.
Yeah.
Like within 100 in the resources lost stat.
Yeah, the aggression of REYNOR really working out there. Finding SERRAL out of position a couple of times.
SERRAL now moving towards the right side. It's going to get a kill on this base, most likely. Overseer spots for the incoming move. There are no Vipers with that army on REYNOR's side. Still believes he can just push into those lurkers. One lurker will fall for free. Maybe one more lurker. No, we'll manage to escape. That is a big, big Viper count. Oh, that used to be a bigger Viper count. That was a good trade for SERRAL, no?
A very good trade for SERRAL. He got, I think, 2 more Vipers than his opponent there.
Yeah.
He started with fewer Vipers, and now he only has 1 Viper less than REYNOR does. Oh my god, this is gonna end in a base trade, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're gonna trade some bases at the very least. I am not sure that REYNOR's army is big enough to continue towards the natural, whereas SERRAL is barreling down into the natural of REYNOR, trying to get on top of the production and split his lurkers up nicely, kills the 3rd base at the same time. So many of the reinforcements dying right away. But REYNOR is still up in supply. He still has more army left, and there's 1 blinding cloud at the very least. SERRAL is trying to intercept. He gets the Viper with energy. He gets all the Vipers, actually. So this will be a nightmare to run into. REYNOR has to try anyway, so has to try and defend his reinforcements. And with a good concave and the lurkers not all firing at the same target, he might barely get it. He needs to walk up with his Hydras.
Yeah, meanwhile, SERRAL losing a lot of workers at home. 27. Another army just randomly shows up. SERRAL up in army value. REYNOR looked kind of surprised by those roaches as well, as they decided to pop out of there. There's nothing really defensively for SERRAL. No lurkers, just 3 Hydras. As REYNOR continues going in, has much, much better eco. If he has any type of tech available to produce stuff, he might still be in a good enough position, no? I think REYNOR can do it. He's outmining his opponent by an absolute crap ton. He's getting a Viper, he's getting some lurkers out. This looked good for SERRAL, but is it going to be good enough, losing all of those workers?
I think it might be, because this army can start attacking the bases, right? REYNOR is still trying to defend his initial 4 bases, and then the reinforcements of SERRAL now can join up with this army. The Viper that spawned here still doesn't have energy. SERRAL is catching the extra units. I think the army supply difference is too big here. I don't think you can outproduce this, even with the significant income advantage that REYNOR has.
Yeah, that's 4 times as much income. Dude, this game was so close. If there's even
really
just like 1 lurker in the natural of REYNOR, that would help quite a bit. Maybe 2 lurkers. Or 4.
Yeah.
Dude, if he would have
And
had
the carrier.
8 lurkers there, this game would have been super over.
And that goes to EMP the Vipers.
Imagine a nuke landing on SERRAL's army. Dude, the guy would have had no chance.
I mean, all that being said, I think SERRAL did not do the best job at capitalizing on his army advantage. He's now trying to attack the most exposed location, but I think on the way there, he definitely could have taken care of that base as well. So REYNOR actually manages to defend his bases better than I thought. I thought the game was just straight up over. Another abduct lands on the Viper.
That's the last Viper, no? Hive has gone.
That is the last Viper. Hive is gone. Also, gas income is gone almost entirely for REYNOR. So he's trying to make it happen. Once again, he's microing his units quite well. The lurker is getting distracted by a single roach at the top. The top lurker, so this is kind of the best fight that he can hope for. But I think he just barely doesn't have enough. As the 5 fighters also come towards the bottom of the last mining base really for REYNOR, and they're killing all the drones here.
Yeah. SERRAL 68 supply against the 40 of REYNOR. And the most important thing being the army value there, or the army supply much higher for SERRAL as he kites away against the drones. It's a rare sight to see drones chasing Hydras. These lurkers might actually get taken out by the Lynx. But right now REYNOR has no advantages. Before he still had the eco lead, but that has been lost. Spines are moving across as SERRAL with a 4-0. What a game. He's not happy. Or maybe he's happy, but he doesn't show it. Oh, quick message. Hello? You want to go? You want to throw him in?
Sure, throw him in. He instantly quit just for us, I think.
I think so too. He knew it was going to happen.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Congratulations. Not dropping a map today. Big performance.
Yeah, went pretty well. Thank you.
I got 2 questions about the MARU series, and then Lambo has 13 about the CVZ versus REYNOR. Both about Golden Aura. You went Muta, but I'm not entirely sure if you had scouted the mech. Had you scouted the mech, or were you just planning on playing Muta, and then you realized midway through it was mech?
Well, I did have the mech scouted. I did see a second factory, so I didn't know about it. But going Muta was my initial plan already on that map, so I just didn't change it. I don't think Mutas are like fantastic against mech, but they are not bad either.
Okay. Were you happy with how that game went in general? Because it felt like you had a lot of control in the first 10 minutes or so, and then there were a couple of almost scary moments where he pushed into you, where it felt like it got kind of close, and then you mined a lot more than him, and in the end, he had 10 Vikings remaining, and you barely managed to outproduce him with Corruptors.
Yeah, pretty happy with how most of it was going. I do think if I maybe stayed on Ling Bane Muta earlier on and just actually boosted Bailings everywhere, I could have ended the game maybe a bit faster. Maybe, I'm not sure. But with the way I decided to play, I think it went pretty well. I got good fights. I was fighting without the coasts quite often, so that was like the best case. But I guess I did mess up a couple fights as well, especially the last one right before I switched to Prullards was kind of terrible. But yeah, I do think that map's somewhat good for Circle late game, just because you can kind of always get the corners and then you just mine more. But I guess in that case it wasn't quite that easy. He almost got the top right location back.
Yeah, it was really close. Did you you looked a little bit upset after the game? Was that just being critical, or because you looked angry and you were talking with yourself?
I don't know. I was just relieved, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I did mess up the last fight a little bit. I didn't really do any barra bombs on the Vikings, so they ended up just overwhelming my Corruptor force. But I think if there's one fungal para combo there, then it's very easy clean up there. but I went for the neural play instead, and my brain is too much of a tunnel brain to do both things, neurals and fungals. Because I want to have them burrowed, and you can't fungal while you're burrowed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. Life is rough as well done in that first series. Lambo, any specific questions about this series?
I just have a general question first of all, because you obviously did win 7-0, but you did not look happy basically at any point. So would you say you're happy with your play? Not with the result, because the result can't really be any better, but do you think you played well today?
I think I played pretty well. I kinda, yeah, I think so. I played pretty well in general, most games.
Okay. I mean, that is
No macro hiccups or anything, so it's a good sign.
that is pretty nice to hear, because it would be a shame if you won 7-0 against MARU and REYNOR, and after that you're not happy with your play, because that would mean that there's even a level up. Which for the competition I don't hope there is, but if you do have another level, it will be pretty insane. Now for your ZVZ series, you went for the Ravager Ling all-in. Were you hoping to run into just his normal 2-base Roach, or were you expecting something else, and then you just stuck with it anyways? Because he just made Roaches of 44 drones, and you won anyways, which I'm not sure is exactly supposed to happen. But since he blocked himself in, it worked perfectly.
Well, I mean, I had no clue what he was gonna do, but he with the 15 hatch opening, he was doing a lot of Ling openings and that kind of stuff. I mean, there wasn't really any time to prepare, since I knew like 15 minutes before that it's REYNOR, but I just wanted to do something different, because I don't really do the Carapace Ling thing anymore too often, and I thought the mining like way back there would have been a smart move, but he smelled it far away and had Ovi checking for the back road, so it didn't work out that well. But yeah, I guess roaches aren't that great against lings.
Sometimes they are not, yeah. And then in the last game, I mean, in general, in late games, I think we always make a couple lurkers to be safe. But in the last game, you decided to make a lot of lurkers at one point, and REYNOR also did. Was that just because the game is hectic, and if it's more stable, you would value Vipers a little bit higher? Or, yeah, did you feel like you needed the lurkers to survive at that point?
The last game?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I kind of was in a panic mode a little bit, just because I was messing up with my positioning a lot there, and he was getting decent trades all the time. And then I just in the back door was annoying, so I just had to. I mean, I think I just, because I was in a pretty good spot that game, I just needed to get like 8 lurkers a bit earlier to shut down all the angles, but I was just max supplied, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, after we had a couple of skirmishes, then I was just a little bit on the, well, not panicking, but still I kind of felt like I needed them real fast. And eventually I wasn't even maxed out anymore, so that's when you really need them.
Yeah. I don't even think you were that far ahead in that game, actually. It felt like it right after the attack, because he lost a bunch of workers. But when you entered the late game, I think it was pretty even.
After my 5th base.
Yeah.
So I'm mining gases, and my spine setups were pretty nice, but I guess he also had nice setups.
Yeah, you had like 10 spores already. You can just leave 3 lurkers there.
Yeah.
It also helps. Well, either way, who do you think is the most difficult opponent for you left in the tournament? Because you beat the guy that you lost to a couple of times in the past. You beat Solar, you destroyed him 3-0. Then you beat the guy that you lost to here in the group stage, also 3-0. And now you lost the guy that you tend to have the closest series with, 4-0. So is there anyone left? Is it herO? Is it Dark?
Well, I think just REYNOR's the hardest one. I don't think that series really says much. 2 of the first 2 games were a little bit what they were, and after that was reasonably close. So REYNOR's just the hardest one. I'm kind of worried of herO as well, but at the same time, I don't know. REYNOR is more scary for sure.
Okay.
All right. I think that's it. Good luck. And you'll be playing again, pretty soon already. The 28th. So 3 days from now. Wow.
Yeah, on Sunday.
Well, good luck with the preparation. Congratulations. And we'll see you then, perhaps. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. What a phenomenal guy, Lambo. Are you going to eat?
I'm going to eat now, yeah.
All right. Well, Well, thanks for being here as always, and enjoy your meal.
No worries. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I am also gonna piss off. It's been a fun time. It's been 4 hours. I think we're good when it comes with some StarCraft action today. Let's see if there's any shoutouts I missed today. Usually there are a couple. Let's see. Yes. PTRXYZ with the Twitch Prime subscription. Operator _ SL with the Twitch Prime. Much appreciated to you guys, of course. And did I miss anything else? I don't think so. I think that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And the next stream when? Tomorrow. We'll be back here. Wait, we can quickly go over the matches of tomorrow, no? Oh, where are you? This one. So tomorrow we're going to have 2 best of 7s, I think. Yeah, 2 best of 7s. herO versus Solar and MARU versus Dark. So 2 non-mirror matchups. And they're going to be good, I think. This match was epic, by the way. If you haven't seen, well, they're already spoiled now, but Cure versus Solar was really, really good. That was a fun series to watch. I massively enjoyed that. MARU Dark could be anything. herO Solar could be anything. And curious how it's going to go. Best of 7 is exciting, though. We're going to see some different maps in the pool, I guess, because of that. I wonder if we're going to see RAD or Equilibrium. I don't think so, but it's technically possible. And then in MARU Dark, we'll see Equilibrium, most likely. Or RAD, one of the two. Which is cool. We don't see these maps a whole lot. Dark lost on purpose so he can beat more people. It's a good play. Get those Ligalock points going. Very smart. Gonna be REYNOR SERRAL again? It's possible. Yeah. I mean, these guys are very good. But I mean, herO REYNOR was not a stomp or a walkover. If anything, herO probably should have won that series. And MARU beat SERRAL already in this tournament. Could do it again. Like, there's only good players left. These are probably the 6 best players in the world. So, yeah, we'll see. See what happens. All right. It's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, Clem is missing.